3, 4. Hello guys, hi everyone. Please say you can see me and you can hear me loud and clear. Welcome everyone. Oh my god, yeah. I was super stoked about this stream, but apparently when I started streaming, we got a power outage and all my audio drivers failed, so I had to restart the streaming PC. And just before I welcome you all, let me shout out to my fellow Hungarian audience just some small words in Hungarian. So I will be back right in 2 minutes with English. So, hello, sziasztok! Na ma este angolul fog menni a stream, hogyha végre minden működik, és remélem most már a zene is megy. Elméletileg most már a zenét is adom ki. Volt egy áramszünet, emiatt most minden csúszik. Nit Grit készen áll, angolul fogunk menni, de ha bármikor, bármire szükségetek van, kérdezzetek nyugodtan magyarul is, fordítani fogom a kérdést felé, illetve az ő válaszát is fordítani fogom nektek, de kérlek, próbáljuk meg angolul tartani a chatet. Nem baj, ha írtok magyarul is, fogok magyarul is válaszolni, de megpróbáljuk majd angolul. So, I just inform my viewers who are mostly Hungarians, that today we will be speaking mostly in English, because my guest will be, and a lot of you already know, Nit Grit from California, and we will talk about music, we will talk about a lot of things, and we will also make an artwork for his new tune, and a disclaimer just right before we start. Sorry for the inconvenience. Yeah, I know it started really badly, the stream. Like, we had a serious power outage and all my audio drivers failed. And please, I feel really ashamed right now. So, Nit Grit just texted me that he's ready. I will put him right through. But please, in any point, don't feel offended if I speak for my viewers who are not speaking English in Hungarian, and please be a little bit patient with me, because English is not my native language, so yeah, we are getting the problems out of the way early. I hope so no more problems will occur during this stream. So yeah, I'm a little bit excited, I'm a little bit nervous, but I think now everything works. And don't forget, whenever you feel like the music is too loud, or Nit Grit or I am too quiet, just type in the chat, make it louder or something like that, and I will make the problems go away. And the main thing is that you guys are hearing everything perfectly and fine as should. Like so, where is that Hangouts call? Yeah. Just a sec. I will send the link to Nit Grit right now. And thank you for the follow, Seda Music. Welcome to the club. And Is It Burn, you too as well. So, let me just copy this invite to Nit Grit, and we hope he will jump in as soon as he gets this. So, yeah, I'm super excited and super nervous. Please, don't feel offended like I'm kind of jumping between words or sentences. Hey, just give me a sec, I will put you through. So, if we change scene, I think everyone can see you, and yeah, let me just resize it a little bit. Like this, yeah. So, welcome on board! Fine, thanks, yeah. I am not sure what you heard previously, like... yeah, I will also turn it off. Yeah, I know. Said the music just said, "Don't be nervous." Danny is such a nice guy. I talked with him for hours late night at festival once. Yeah, we already made some calls this week to test out everything, but nobody can really expect a power outage right now. So
This is a terrible time. I got like 1,000 people just calling me all at once, and it's fucking up my computer. Excuse my language. It's messing up my computer. So I'm trying to get everything all in order right now. Okay. All right.
thank you guys.
So,
Yeah.
All right.
You were muted.
Now you have my full attention. People. Well, all right. This is the story. I'm getting ready for this stream, and the roommate's dog, the upstairs neighbors are moving, and the roommate's dog just started going wild. And so I was trying to figure out a solution for the roommate's dog. I was like, I can't have a dog barking for the next 2 hours. And so my girlfriend took the dog for a walk. And yeah, hopefully that
she's so nice.
Yes. Thank God.
So we could say you let the dogs out.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. So there's a little. I'm trying to get used to this delay because I'm looking at the Twitch stream, and I'm talking to you through Hangouts. So I'm kind of getting used to this. All right.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So, where should we start? Like, I notice sometimes my voice is clipping as well. Sorry for that. I will try to adjust the volume just right, so no one will go home like with bleeding ears or things like that. Anyway, yeah, you can see on the picture on the screen right now that we will start with this new artwork, which is called YOUU, with double U, but not W like
it's just you.
YOUU, you know?
Yeah, it's just, I mean, that was the sample. So if you listen to the sample, it's just, I didn't know what to call it. Cause I mean, like you said, I mean, for everyone that's listening right now, Sabi actually gets to listen to these songs way before they're released. Cause they'll be like version 1, version 2, version 3. And it was called Glass Shadows for a while, just because of the feeling of the track was really, I don't know, just had different shades to it. And it had kind of a like glass hitting, the way the different drops were very glitchy, and so I thought Glass Shadows was kind of a cool name, but because I used the sample YOUU a bunch, it just seemed like kind of in your face, so I just left it as YOUU. Probably the most boring Nit Grit title ever, but I think it fits. So
yeah. And also, like, yeah, I'm really in that grateful position. Like, I can listen every Nit Grit tune weeks before its release on a loop, and sometimes I'm also getting a little tired, by the way, when it really gets released. Like, when I'm making artworks for YOUU, I'm always listening your tracks in loop, and if the artwork takes like 3 hours or 4 hours, I'm listening the same track for 4 hours, and yeah. but they are good, like, you know. Danny always sends me like early previews without mastering and things like that, and I was like, okay, why does it even need mastering or anything like that? It sounds just great.
Well, thank you, because I don't feel that way. I always have to keep tweaking with it until it feels right. And I mean, I'm notorious for having very complicated, like, messy mixes, which I feel really bad for all the sound engineers that have to. Well, it's really just one, my buddy Torn. Good night. He actually goes by Bird of Prey, so he's actually quite popular here in America, and he's been a family friend, a good friend for a very long time. And it's kind of amazing that we kind of both ended up in the electronic music scene. He was a big influence on me too of coming into the scene, and now he's my mastering engineer. And so I feel bad for him. The mixes I give to him sometimes sloppy. They get pretty sloppy, and it's just kind of my style at this point. I mean, at this point, like, I kind of want to focus on the music, and I know that's kind of a cop-out, but I want to be able to focus on the concept. Like, the Devil's Index is a perfect example of a very cluttered mix with a lot going on. And even phasing issues with, well, it's not even phasing issues. I made a bass that phases, which is a nightmare for mastering. And so I did it on purpose. It's just what I did. So that's how I feel like if I'm gonna do something, I feel like my early works, I didn't care at all. I made music and I was unapologetic about it. And then as I got popular, and I had to go play it live on larger systems, it became a concern for me. But I'm not in that place anymore, where I can just kind of do whatever I want. And I think I'm producing more music now because of that, of allowing myself to not have boundaries, to not have to have some sort of formula to stick by. And like you can hear it in that little mini mix, the 2020 mixtape, where it's kind of showcasing just different unreleased tracks, even the latest tracks. And they're kind of all over the place. The BPM on those tracks, or the tempo, are jumping between like 112 and 160. It's all over the place, which you can hear because I had to create transitions for it to work. But I think it flows. I think it's more like a showcase of like things I've been working on, and yeah. And so yeah, I kind of lost track of what I was saying, but kind of did a lot.
No problem. So just a quick shout out, like thank you everyone for the following. Boy has Sack, Nit Grit Music, you as well. Wobbly Party, Immune Doesn't Calma, Inside Out T-shirts, Strobe, Sedam Music, Is It Burn, and Subvex. Thank you for the following. Welcome to the club. So what do you think if we start right away by listening the new track YOUU?
Absolutely, that sounds good.
So I will just put it through, and I hope I can adjust the volume so you will hear it loud and clear. So it will be a little bit louder than usual, but that's the point. It has a really good glitchy sound. So, should we talk about the concept which we came up, or wait for the track to end?
Yeah, let's talk about it.
So, the main concept was like, as you can hear, it has a really glitchy, a really high-pitched, kind of like brain-pitching sounds. Like, and we were thinking like the S, you can see the track is called YOUU, and immediately when I started listening it, I was like listening to a pre-mastered version, and yeah, I was like, oh my god, it's cool. And 1 week later he sent over the mastered version, and I listened it with headphones, and it was like, oh my fucking god. And sorry for the swears, but yeah, it's mature content. Yeah, I know I swear a lot. Sorry for it, guys. But I was like, oh my god, and these pictures just came through my mind, like different concepts. We also had a meeting for like speaking through the concepts, and we were just discussing like we will start something like with her, as you can see on the screen. And we will make it like if she is a kind of a part human, part robot, have different parts on the face which are like plates, as I can say, and the main colors will be so different from what you can see, and we will really turn this picture upside down. Not literally, but we will turn this picture upside down. Like we want to make something like when you see this picture, you feel a little bit comfort, but you feel a little bit danger in the sight. Like it's a little paradox feelings, like what I could get from the tune. Like it has a really good bass vibe, like boom boom and things like that, and then the high pitched sounds and things like that. all that, and I was thinking, why not make some more controversial? I don't know how to say that, but why not make something like that?
Controversial? Is that what you meant?
Controversial, yeah. Like when you get mixed feelings, but by looking at that artwork.
My buddy Seda is saying he can't hear my mic or your mic. I'm not exactly sure, but one of the mics isn't pulling up. I can turn up on my end, or do you want to do it on your end? It could be on the far side. You could probably. It's easier for you to turn
actually,
it up.
I think your mic goes through, and mine also. Like, okay, I will give you some gain.
Okay, I don't know. I'm just seeing it in the chat, so I'm not really sure which mic it is. But if they can't hear me, then let me check.
Oh, they couldn't hear us because the music was too loud. Sorry, guys. But you could hear the music better. So in a way, it was it was a win-win. So first of all, where did I put my gloves? Like I started using a graphic tablet. I will show you just in a second. Like here you can see. And this one is like mine. This is brand new. This is the first time I'm trying it out. Like I got the exact same model 2 weeks ago, and from a friend to try out before I buy a graphic tablet. And yeah, it's awesome. It changed so much things for me. So that's why I'm having gloves, because my hand can get slippier on the surface and won't stick to it when I get a little sweaty or things like that. So yeah, I can get really sweaty sometimes.
I mean, I'm the king of sweat. Everyone knows this. I'm sweating all the time.
So I will just make some small adjustment to the picture, like duplicating the layers. If anytime you feel like you can't follow my work or you want to know more, I won't say every step that I'm making. I'm trying to just get to the flow and do the things while talking with you guys. And whenever you are not understanding something, why is happening or what is happening, feel free to ask and I will try to answer it as well. So yeah. Yeah, I am a little bit nervous. Sorry, guys.
I'm nervous too. Don't be nervous. I'm actually. It's just like overwhelming because there's a lot going on. Since there's a delay between our conversation and what I'm seeing on Twitch, and then I'm trying to look at the chat at the same time. It's like making my brain like work in so many different ways because I want to see like what people are saying at the same time, and I don't know. We're just gonna get through this together, Sabi.
Yeah.
so don't be nervous.
I
think this is gonna be great. And I don't even know. I mean, how many people are in the chat? Where is that at?
I'm not quite sure. I have a little monitor, an extra screen from me where I can see the stats, but it's not updating lively. Like it updates every 5 minutes, and now it says we have 26 viewers right now.
Cool. So, all right. I just didn't know if like so the chat's happening in real time.
Yeah. The chat's happening at real time without any noticeable delay within a sec or so. So I was trying to came up some idea like a little darker background would be nice because her skin is so pale. Like I don't know how to say that, but to make it a little bit more contrasting, and contrast will be the key word for today. Like we want to make it like as full of contrast as we can, but to keep it like in a simple way. Because you are right now coming up with the idea like Nit Grit 2.0, if I'm right.
I think we're at 3.0 at this point.
3.0, or maybe 3.0. And we were discussing this last week, like maybe for that more experimental and more clean sound that you are working on right now, it should be better to showcase something like cleaner designs, as you could see it from the previous works, like Akashic Halls or Pinch Nerve, or what else did I make to you? Like there was a third one.
Safe distance.
Safe distance, yeah. So something which catches your eyes, but not like Rabbit in the Snowstorm, if you know what I mean, like a white canvas with a white brushstroke or something like that. Yeah. So yeah, and welcome everyone. Yeah, for the just one more shout out for the Hungarian viewers. Fiúk, srácok, sziasztok! Elnézést, hogy most angolul megy a stream, nyugodtan kérdezzetek magyarul is, megpróbálom majd lefordítani, kérdezzetek a vendégemtől, Nit Grit-től is, aki egy amerikai DJ, Kaliforniából élőben van itt velünk, és neki készítünk egy új artworköt, és hogyha bármikor úgy érzitek, hogy kérdésetek van, szóljatok nyugodtan, és akkor én majd fordítok, és majd fordítom a választ is. So, sorry, I was just explaining like why are we streaming in English, because my channel is mainly in Hungarian, like most of the streams.
Yeah, no
they are in Hungarian, so that they could also ask in Hungarian. I will try to translate back the answer and things like that. So don't feel left out, and don't feel so surprised about hearing Hungarian words. Maybe we could teach you some Hungarians as well.
I'll try, but I'll probably fail completely. But I'm totally down to try.
Maybe a little bit later. Like we just have to get used to this new situation. Like
yeah.
you said earlier that you didn't even have any serious or didn't do any interviews, just some couple back in the days. Like
yeah. I didn't like doing interviews. I mean, I didn't like being like on stage, and that took a lot for me to slowly, well, it wasn't slowly, it happened quite quickly, getting used to playing for crowds and then large crowds and then interviews. There's just something about having a camera on you and just being documented, and I hated that feeling. I hated the questions that were being asked. They were all like really generic, and I think for the most part with my music, I liked people. I didn't want to control the narrative. If they asked me a certain question about a certain song, I liked the listener to be able to have their own opinion about it, other than, oh, I wrote this because of this was happening or this was going on in my life. Or so I kind of like that, the mystery kind of behind it too. And yeah, just being the anxiety alone of having to do interviews was just. It's odd. It's a very odd. It's just odd to be sitting in front of a camera or two cameras on you, and then someone behind the camera asking you questions, and then you having to have like a response to that. And again, if this is on tour, most people don't know what it feels like to be touring, where you're on a 2.5 month tour and you're about 5 days in, and you're just tired. You get grumpy and stuff, and so it was always bad, like to be not feeling well or just feeling drained, and then having to do an interview and in a green room, so it was always something that I always avoided. There's a couple tours where I couldn't. It was very much part of the deal, like the Warped Tour, which they have press every day, so I always avoided the press. I don't know, but it wasn't me trying to divert from my fans. It wasn't me trying to not interact with my fans. I feel that my fans always were very like a close-knit group to me, and I would rather interact with them directly. And again, even I didn't want an interviewer to even control a narrative of some sort of like, oh, I met him, and I don't know. It's a stressful thing, and it was something. It's a very much a learned behavior, and I'm sure if I did it enough, just like playing live, you learn how to operate within that space. And so I guess it's a communications thing. It's a being able to sit down and talk to somebody, and they ask you a question, and you know how to formulate the perfect answer. And I always felt like I had a difficult time with that, and so I just avoided it for the most part. I mean, this is not an interview. Like, we're friends, so it's like talking to a friend, and this, it's not nerve-wracking. The only thing that's nerve-wracking is streaming. I'm a very personal. I mean, most people know this about me. I'm a very personal guy. I really don't like putting myself out there, where there's a lot of other DJs and people that just love that. It's hard for me.
Yeah, it's so. Like we are all different. some of us can really work under pressure, can be really like being their best selves under pressure, or before in front of a lot of people, but not us. Like, yeah, I'm so nervous right now. Like when I was at my first stream, I almost fainted like 3 months ago. So I came in a long way, and a lot of people know that I had some diseases back then when in things like that, when you get suddenly stressed, or I don't know how to really explain that, but I fainted a lot, like under a lot of pressure or a lot of stress.
Anxiety.
I was like fainting out, and God bless what happened next. Like, yeah. So and yeah, I also came in a long way, and I think you should get used to making interviews. Like, you are a really good person, as I know you. Like, we were talking a lot on the previous weeks, and we were talking like a lot in the previous months as well, as we were working together, and in my opinion, you are a really good guy, and a lot of people should know you better.
I've actually had I have a good friend, Jason. He actually started the EDM network, EDM.com, and wow. we talk quite frequently at that now. I mean, it's been kind of a rough couple years for him. I'm not going to tell his story, but it's been kind of a couple rough years for him leaving EDM.com. But he's like an entrepreneur at heart and a good friend. And I remember him in our last conversation saying, like, you know, most of your fans, like, I'm not in that same group as a DJ that needs to put out a track that needs to be a banger. I make my own music. I have a different set of fans that, you know, almost like a band. You would like a band songs that you know, it has the nostalgia to it. It has the feeling to it. It's like, and I think he told me, I think people want to know who you are. Which again, like I just said, like, that's terrifying to me to be, you know, vlogging or something of those sorts. But now that this is not my full-time career or anything like that, I mean, I really, if music's my life, I love making music. I would love to make a career out of it again. But I think we're at that point now where it's going to have to be within that context if people need to know who I am and understand where the music comes from. Even just like The Devil's Index, when I released that, it's like that was really the first concept song that I've written, and without it, like saying it was from that nightmare I had, it's very difficult. I mean, I think if someone listened to it, they'd be like, "What is this?" It's kind of all over the place. It holds no structure. It's just kind of this space that you're in. But when you hear the context of it, you go, "Oh, I understand." You know, he's walking room to room. He's, you know, and I think that's important. I think that was my first attempt of being more personable with my music on this new, I guess, new chapter I'm embarking on now with music. And I really can't say that, no, I don't want to put myself out there anymore. I think I'm at a point now where I'm not, well, obviously no one's touring, but I wasn't planning on touring other than the 10-year anniversary tour, which obviously COVID destroyed any plans for that. But I think it's important to be able to be personal with your music and put yourself out there. And I mean, again, it's something where I didn't want to come off like cheesy promoting myself or anything like that. I think it was just, I need to figure out a way to be able to have a deeper connection with my fans, because I have solid fans. Like, I'm so grateful for my fan base because I look at other people's fans, and not saying that I'm not talking shit about people's fans, but it's just one dimensional to me, where it's like you push out a banger, you push out a song, and that's what you're known for, and then that's that. Like, I have people, I mean, just releasing that Stella Mara remix, that thing is 10 years old. It's still like one of my most popular tracks, if not most popular like remixes, and it's played 10 years later. And I don't know, everyone just is that's in my community that likes my music is just so nice. So maybe I'm doing them a disservice by not putting myself out there more, and maybe it's a me issue that I need to get over, not putting myself out there more. I don't know if that answers.
But you should. But you should, yeah. I think you should. Yeah, but it's like everybody have to deal with his or her own demons, like, you know.
Yes.
Yeah, and thanks, and like as you can see on the chat, Dabensi, she's actually my girlfriend, who is watching also the stream. And yeah, she just said Sobi loves to do interviews. Just saying, yeah, I love to do interviews when I'm on the right side of the camera or behind the camera, as I used to say that. I hated so much being in front of camera, and look where am I now? I'm streaming 4 or 5 days a week, and yeah, it's like.
Well, I have a question for you. Since you started the streaming, you said you started and you were so nervous that you would faint. Are you more comfortable now just being on camera and just allowing that space? Are you more comfortable now just turning on the camera and starting to stream, and just being comfortable in that space? Are you?
Yeah, I was until we started this live. You know, there were some technical difficulties and things like that, and yeah, it's a new scenario for both of us. But yeah, I'm getting used to it, and I start to handle it pretty well. Like it took some time, like 3 months, but the last 2 weeks was like phenomenal for me. Every time I was feeling a little bit down, yeah, and I should work during that also, because we won't finish it today. As I was feeling a little down or something, I just started streaming, and so many good people popped out, and they were giving me so much good vibes, good energy, and things like that. That it got really comfortable and really, how can I say, like we are building a small community, a small family, or something like that. It gets familiar and familiar every day, and easier to get used to, and to get over my anxiety and get over my panic attacks and things like that. So I'm now is the time when I'm starting to more like be myself, instead of really trying to not to faint, or really trying to put myself together and things like that. So I'm getting more open, and we are having some great chats and things like that, and it feels so awesome. So just some quick notes what I did. We had the background, but I wasn't really satisfied with that cyanide color, so we changed it purplish, which is in great contrast to her red hair. And when you saw, I was like zoomed in and finishing up some glitches which made Photoshop, so the selection would be more like natural, and it won't look like that we ripped off the background. And also I put on some extra layers, like you know, the background had cast some light on her hair, so it was a cyan color, so I put on a soft light layer with some red, so it would counterpart it and make it like looks more neutral.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I'm starting to think like I mostly work with 5000 by 5000 pixels for this artwork, in case if it needs printing for vinyl or things like that. You could never know. And there is no such a thing like when you do a smaller artwork and not this window. When you do a smaller artwork and you have to redo it in bigger size because you forgot to properly set the sizes. So So yeah, the base picture was really close to that resolution. We will try to come up with something like I'm not quite sure yet. Maybe we will do something like if she's a hologram or things like that, or something glitchy. I really want to put something glitchy in that, because yeah, the song contains a lot of glitchy elements. And
that's what I like about the cyborg idea. Basically,
Yeah.
it's the contrast between being human and being robot. You know, being a cyborg. I like the ideas that we're shooting around. Like I said, I mean, I'm a huge fan of Chris Cunningham and Bjork's all is full of love. That music video is amazing. I'm not saying we should rip it off, but I'm just saying I really like that feeling of faces being able to be looking like they're removable. And yeah, so, and we talked about that a little bit, and then we did a little bit of a mock-up the other day where you kind of have these ley lines on the face that have like the color. I think we complement the purple background, that kind of being illuminated. We can go in any direction, man. The end result's always beautiful with you, so I'm excited.
Let me ask you, should we show them the mock-up we did?
Yeah, we can. Yes, we can.
Sorry, it's really just a quick sketch, but we came up with something like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this was to showcase what I had in mind, but we will do better today. Yeah, so Black X-Dash, I didn't take this photo. It's just a stock photo from Shutterstock, because I was looking like, I'm not sure, I was spamming Nit Grit's inbox like hell with stock photos. Like, what about this? What about this? I was looking for like 300 different photos or more, but this one really stood up. Like her eyes is really like I don't know how can I explain this. Not empty, but it's a neutral expression, and it really like. She's not showcasing any joy or any feeling or things like that. It's very pure neutral. Yeah, very neutral. So that was the word I was looking for. So for okay, I should save more. Sometimes Photoshop gets a little bit glitchy. So I think with the base we are really good. I just made some more harder shadows to the one part, like oh, and oh my god, I always so forgot my manners. Like I didn't even introduce myself. So anyone who is new to this channel, I'm Sabi. I'm a 30-year-old graphic designer currently located in Hungary, and that's why it's in mid-Europe, and that's why we are streaming in such an early time for the US viewers. Like it's almost 11 a.m. right now.
Yeah, we're about 12 minutes.
Yeah, and here in Hungary it's already almost 8 p.m. So it's a little bit of time difference. But feel free to ask anything from us. Yeah. And if you can't hear us, or we are too loud, or the music is too loud, feel free to tell, and I will adjust the music. Sorry, it's just that power outage really turned me over, and I was like, okay, what did I have to put to make everything work again? Like, oh man, I'm still getting back to my normal pace right now.
Yeah, everything's good. Everything's all good. I was freaking out before too, so I think, yeah. So we're both we're on the same wavelength right now. We're getting things together. If you want, anyone in the chat wants to ask me a question too, I'm trying my best to look over there, and you know, if you have a question about anything while he's working.
Yeah. So now, until they are throwing a lot of questions to you. First thing first, we need to sketch up some parts where we want to have our funnel's edges. Like I was thinking maybe we should split the face to two different places. Oh my god, this is not that brush. Treasure size, that one. That's the one. So like put a line here. Oh. Yeah, my hands are shaking. Sorry about that.
It's all good.
So put one line here, or maybe make something over the nose, and maybe under the cheekbone, something like this. Yeah, and this end will be like curved as well, to really follow the plane of the face.
Yeah, I like that.
And also I was thinking that maybe both, or maybe just one eye, we should make something like which comes up and really puts the upper part of her face in three different sections. Like, let me see, something like this. I don't want to overdo it, like I don't want to make it like too much, just some small lines. Maybe on the, how do you say that, chin?
Yeah.
And for the neck, I was thinking maybe these lines could go through, and there is this place in the neck where it's and not for me, yeah, I'm a little bit overweight, but for most people it's like, it's a little, how do you say that, little negative space, yeah,
like under the chin.
Yeah, under the chin, but like, you know,
there
is
the mock-up, you went straight, yeah, exactly, following the like esophagus all the way down to like where the collarbone,
maybe the ear, like this. So this would be a whole different section.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and for this part as well, something like this. And I think that would be all. Like, we don't want to overdo it. We want to keep her half human-ish, maybe. So like something like this, or I'm not quite sure if we. Yeah, it's like when we will be putting. Let me see. I need a bigger brush and a softer one. Like when we will masking out the lower part to make it like I don't know, something like a hologram, which is glitching as well. So yeah, then maybe we won't be making lines under this part, or maybe just like let's get back to the correct size. Oh, and we also hear Akashic Halls right now. I really like that tune. Like, it's so pure for me.
I can't hear the music, so I don't know what people are listening to.
We are listening to the best of Nit Grit. Like, like as a lazy person, I was just on your Spotify page and hit start, and everything will come.
Yeah, I've been doing I've been trying my best to backlog every single release that I've made. So, and I really neglected my Spotify while I was touring, and you know, maybe management didn't get to it, and it basically just sat there. And I actually had a lot of different labels, because I give away my music for free on my Bandcamp. They would just take my music and then they would just upload it to their distribution, which is such a pain to get down from a different label. I think there was one out of Sweden that they were using a proxy to the country.
Sorry, just a second. We some had glitches with your webcam. Could you please repeat the last sentence, like after the Bandcamp part?
Oh, so like after Bandcamp, like I released all my music on Bandcamp. People were just downloading my music for free and then uploading it, like a label where they're uploading it to their distribution. So putting it to stores, putting it to Spotify, putting it to Pandora. And it's extremely difficult to get them to take that down, even if you're the artist. And it took a long time to do that. And then pretty much way after the fact, about probably 2018 is when I was distributing through my own distribution and been backlogging and getting all the releases up and making sure they're on Spotify. It's easy now once I make a song, but it took a minute to get to that point to have all my music backlogged. So, and I kind of feel dumb for not being on Spotify earlier. So, because it's just the platform. That's where I listen to music. That's where everyone has their own, I guess, platform, but Spotify pretty much seems to be a very popular one.
Yeah. They have a really great and really diverse music library. Like you can listen any genres you want to, and there is hours of music in every genre.
Yeah, absolutely. I see some questions down there. Will you?
Feel free to answer them.
All right. So, will you be touring at all in 2021, or do a few shows? I'm not really sure. I'm kind of at this crossroads right now with music of how I feel about it. At least mine. Should I tour again? I think it would be appropriate to do like. I want to say yes. I think I would be able to take shows. I don't think it's gonna. I mean, depending on the pandemic, 2021, the whole music industry is basically collapsed. But I think. Yeah, I think so. I think I would like to do a 10-year anniversary. We'll call it 11-year anniversary of like when this all started. And I guess that answers the second question. When did you start making music? I was Nit Grit since about 2009 on, but I've been making music since I was 18, 19-ish. And it was more like I came from being a guitar player, and I would make, like, the only way for me to understand how the DAW worked was just to record guitar into it and then learn how to put beats behind it. On top of side note from that is I was really into experimental music like Aphex Twin, Wisp, Venetian snares, music most people did not like at that time unless you were really into the IDM scene, the braindance scene. And so I had two different projects. One was Sloth Logic and one was Lay Awake. Lay Awake was my more organic guitar-based and beats. And Lay Awake or Sloth Logic was more my experimental, go wild with just whatever idea I came up with. And then about 2009 is when I was getting into the dubstep scene. And that's where Nit Grit kind of formed from. I was just making really wonky, I guess you can call it bass music. I don't think my production was on point at that point, but the concepts were there, and it just kind of blew up from there. So about 10 years, 11 years doing Nit Grit, I guess would answer that question. But I'm not really sure about the 2021. That's kind of basically we're gonna take it month by month and see where the music industry's at. And if people are even touring, if they're touring, I mean, it's something funny happened the other day that I was gonna announce, but I think it was a little too soon. I've always wanted to play Europe. I've always wanted to tour Europe, and I never got the chance. Just because I was on agencies that it was known that you can make more money in the United States. So agencies weren't really hip to just toss a European tour in there unless you had a strong US tour. So I just kept touring the US and Canada. But when I was on CAA, they did have a European office and they were talking about putting me out there. Never happened. And I got hit up from an agency out of Switzerland the other day. They don't look big at all. They don't seem that they're that large of an agency, but I told them, I was like, if you want to plan a tour for Europe, I would absolutely do it. I would do it even if I broke even. I would do it probably even if I had to pay, just so I can get out there.
It would be awesome,
just so
man.
Because that's where it all started. It all started from SoundCloud. It all started, I was popular in the UK and France before I was popular in the United States. I was putting out songs on SoundCloud and they're playing it on P3 radio. They're playing it on BBC. And so, yeah, I mean, I have a fan base out there. I know it's not as large as my US, but just to be able to go out there and have the experience, in a place where I've never played before, I would absolutely do that in a heartbeat. But I mean, I don't think you can do one without the other. I couldn't do a European tour and not set up a US tour. So yeah, that's been weighing on me a little bit of, is that something, I mean, I was thinking more like 2022, and that seems so freaking far away to be planning for something. And I'm a very impatient person. Like if I want something, I'm going to figure out a way to get it as fast as possible. If I want a tour, I'm going to probably try to figure out in the next 6 months, but that's really hard to do right now with COVID. It's really hard to plan for those things. So basically lately I just been planning on just keep writing music, and it doesn't need to be anything. It doesn't need to be dubstep or some huge banger or anything. It could just be something melodic. It could just be something that's me. And I think a lot of my fans have accepted that, you know, I have different projects. I do different things that I mean, again, this is why I had 3-track EPs. Is every 3 tracks, my sound would start changing. It would, and so you start from the beginning of like my self-titled, where I was really influenced by Excision and Bar 9 and the Stenchman, and so it was more heavy sounding to just going extremely melodic. I really like melodies, so I don't know what music I'm even going to be making by 2021 or 2022, but I think it would be. I want to say yeah. I can't imagine just not touring ever again, even if it's the last tour. I think. Yeah, I guess the answer to the question. That was a very long answer to say yeah, probably. I think I'm convincing myself right now as we talk.
Yeah, but you know, it's really, people nowadays really can't foresee the future, like what brings us to this end, to the end of the year. Like so many crazy things happen this year. We can't even tell, like, okay, when or where you could really organize a tour. Like here in Europe, it's like, oh my, Photoshop is glitching all the time. I don't know what this is about. Like, I'm trying to make some solid paths here, but it's glitching out every time. Like, yeah, sorry. It's like I know what to do, but Photoshop doesn't want to do it. Like, sorry guys.
I understand that with music programs all the time. I'm just impressed that you're able to listen, be able to talk, and do that at the same time. I'm like, when I'm talking right now, I'm using 100% of my focus. Like, I can't look at anything but almost away from the computer to try to like come up with what I'm going to say. So I'm impressed. I'm impressed that you're able to do this while, because I couldn't do that. So
yeah, it's really hard, and really hard to fight with the program as well. Like, as you can see now on my screen, I try to make it smaller, and it just gets bigger and bigger, the brush. As soon as, oh my god. Like, okay, I really have to save this and reopen it once again. Like, so sorry guys, I'm not sure what's happening here. I'm trying to make it like smaller, and boom.
Yeah. I can hear restart the program. There's more questions over here. Safety first, and yeah, I agree with, obviously I would not be setting up a tour if there's a pandemic or it's unsafe for anybody. I take that extremely serious. I'm not on the side of people not wearing masks. You're a fucking idiot. That's how I feel. That's my opinion.
Everyone should wear masks.
Let's try to eradicate this and not make it worse. And it's not a hoax. So
yeah.
But okay, Seda. I know. Oh, Rez. I mean, you're my homie, dude. You don't need to tell me who you are. Do you want to shed some light on your time with CAA? You're not with them now. Do you do your own bookings right now? Well, I left. I didn't leave CAA. CAA dropped me, and that's a different. The whole. I didn't know if I wanted to touch on talking about my experience with agencies on this. But I think it's important to, because there's a lot of producers out there. There's a lot of DJs that get thrown into this music industry, this music business, thinking that it's like, oh, people like my music. I'm playing shows now. This is this is awesome. And it is when it's the relationship between you and your fans, but it's a music business. It's a music industry. It has nothing to do with, how good you feel inside about your music and how your fans feel about it. It's about ticket sales. It's about money. And if you're not making them money, then you're no use to them. And this is really hard, especially with artists that are sensitive. I had to learn how to get I had to be able to control my emotions and not get angry every time someone was trying to manipulate me in the music industry. That is the name of the game. You're swimming with sharks. And it started early on when I joined AM Only, which is Paradigm now, a very, very large agency. It was right when they're making that transition from AM Only to Paradigm. And my agent was the same agent that represented Skrillex. And I'm going to be hold my reservations of what I want to say about that, because I'm going to make another point later that in this industry, don't talk shit about anybody, because that turns around. For one, it makes you look lesser, and it makes you look just bad in general, that you would have to say something negative about somebody else. But I had a very challenging time when I was with AM Only, because at that time, that agent ran pretty much the electronic scene, and he was very aggressive. We can say that I went from selling out every show that was a 400 cap room comfortably, and I was making okay guarantees, to I'm trailing with Skrillex. I'm trailing with what was expected of someone that's supposed to grow as an artist in an extremely rapid rate. So I got thrown in the deep end very quickly. So my experience might not be like everyone else's, but the one thing that I learned through that is it taught me how to grow faster. It taught me how to react faster. And it taught me lessons like, don't talk shit. Even if that party deserves to be reprimanded, to not open your mouth about it, because it'll turn around and it'll bite you. So there's a silver lining with the AM Only, was I wouldn't have grown as fast as I did and opened up as many markets. I was on the Pretty Lights tour, and that opened my whole East Coast markets. Most of the people that are fans from the East Coast came to one of those shows. And just because I had a difficult time with the music industry, the silver lining is I got my music out to new fans who I'm talking with today. So I'm not going to sit here and badmouth, an agency for that. That being said, I left that agency, and CAA picked me up. And my time with CAA was pretty standard. My agent was actually a friend of mine. And they saw an opportunity, and they picked up on me when they were growing their electronic division. And it was pretty standard, but that time I was having a very difficult time with writer's block. And it was pretty much kind of like we're still booking shows. I was still making music, but it was in decline, because, again, being an artist that grew so quickly, there's a demand for you to perform well. And again, playing a 100% original set, I'm not a DJ, I'm a producer, so it was really important to me that I play only my music. I think the only other artist that I'll play in my set is Nasty Nasty, which to me, he's a friend of mine. That before we were friends, like huge influence on me. I'll go back to that and talk about Jasper a little bit later. But basically, when I was on CAA has they have a rule. It's kind of their thing is, if you don't grow 10% profitability annually, you get dropped. And which they do with all of their artists, all of their actors, all of their athletes. Basically, you have to, I think it's 15% actually. If you're not grossing 15% more annually every year, you get dropped. And essentially, I was on a slowdown with my career. There's a lot of things that were happening in my personal life too, but it was just a lot of pressure. And it gets to you very quickly. And a lot of people don't get to see that. And I think it's important for producers and DJs that are out there. I mean, it's super cliche. Like when you go to LA and they sit you down in CAA, or they're just talking you up. I remember the first time AIM Only called me, and the agent, he gets on the phone, he's like, "We're making you bigger than Bass Nectar," and it's like, what kind of bullshit is that, dude? Like, I understand, like, like I get it. But I understand I'm kind of hot right now on the internet, and I get that, you know, I have fans, and that's why you picked me up. But it's just like they just want to feed you this bullshit that feeds your ego, and that's what gets people. You know, they think that these people are your friends. No, it's a business, and you need to treat them as they're just business people that you're working with. And maybe I am a little jaded when it comes to that, because I had a harder experience than maybe some other artists, but it taught me how to swim in the deep end very quickly, and this taught me how to treat everyone with respect too, that I came in contact with. If that's a promoter, if that's your fans, anybody, is to be grateful for to everybody. Again, going back to don't ever say anything bad about someone, because it's going to come back in one way or another. And just to really, I mean, the fans, obviously, that's at one point I just thought that was the only people on my side were my fans, and everyone that was actually working for me were my enemy. And it was a very strange feeling for a very long time. CAA was not like that. CAA is just a competitive agency, and that's their motto. If you don't make 15% growth, you grow 15% annually every year, you just kind of get dropped, which I respected it. Once I was like, I'm not grossing as much. I did the Warped Tour, which I didn't want to do. It's sad to say it was just a paycheck, and then I had the Wicked Tour right after, which was great. Andrew is an amazing dude. Wicked is the man. I really like him. He's a really great dude. So I'm really blessed that I got to be on that tour with him, and I got to get to know him. But basically after that, I went stagnant. I kind of just, pulled back, and that was that, for a while. I don't know if that answered your question. I don't know if this 15% rule is standard for other agencies. I just know that was kind of what their model was based off of. I don't know. Again, this was back then. This is different than when you get an agent from probably a smaller agency. They'll work for you a little bit more because they're smaller. But when you're dealing with larger agencies like Paradigm and CAA, they already have every venue in their pocket. They're already working with Live Nation. They're already working with. So to set up a tour for you, I remember he set up my tour in about, I want to say 3 weeks, and we did a 2.5 month tour, which was not profitable because my management at the time were fucking idiots. But excuse my language, sorry. They were,
No problem. We have a disclaimer, mature content. Okay. So everyone who is here, click okay, I got it, mature content.
And that's me. And again, that's me talking shit right there. And then again, I'm being a hypocrite here. It's just, talking about it brings up emotions that I haven't wanted. I didn't want to talk about. But it's just, it's this industry will throw you to the curb once you're useless to them. And if you have nothing, if they have no money to gain from this, they don't want you. And that was hard. It's hard when you have awesome fans and everyone's like, hey, when are you going to be touring? And then you don't have your team doesn't believe in you. That was my experience. I've seen other artists have amazing teams, amazing relationships with the people that they work with. I think I'm the story of the artist that blew up too fast, worked with the very most aggressive people in the industry, and that was my look, and that's my outtake on me entering the music industry. And I don't think that translates to everyone's experience, but don't fool yourself if you're a DJ and you're on the come up. This is an industry, this is a business, this is about money. This isn't about your fans, this isn't about anything, it's about making $1. And that was really hard for me, putting a value to my music when I first started. Like, I didn't feel, and again, this is a me issue, I didn't feel that I was worth, this is just my music, it's something I do for fun, and people really enjoy it, and that's enough. It's like, well, no, when you're out there, the people are your agencies, your management, they're trying to make money. That's what everyone's goal is. And that was really difficult for me. And I get it. there's a silver lining to it all too. Like, yeah, when it's your career, you need to be able to be self-sustainable. But that was something that I personally had to deal with, that I had a very difficult time with. And it ended in writer's block, because when you're up on stage playing songs, it's a lot different than when you're just enjoying yourself in the studio and making something creative that has some sort of concept. When you're on stage and you need to make a whole crowd move, it skews how you're going to start creating in the studio. Like, there's so many songs that I just scrapped because it wasn't big enough. It didn't hit hard enough. It didn't. And I think that's where I'm happy again now, and I'm actually making music again. It's because I don't have to tailor my music to anybody. I don't have to do any of that anymore. And that makes me happy inside. And I kind of get back to this place where I'm enjoying music again. I felt like it was stripped away from me. The thing that I loved most in life was taken away from me from this industry. And I finally got it back. And that's where I'm at now. I don't know if that even answered the question, but I don't know. You got a nice Nit Grit venting session. We're working through some shit.
No problem. Like, yeah, and I'm getting lost in my layers already. So there was a question from Yada 007. Nit Grit music, how do you find extra creative? And I think he or she meant like, how did we find each other, like working together? And also just a quick shout out to Luna, Kyra, and Bochra Lena. Thanks you all for following and welcome here. Yeah, I'm always waving to... Okay, sorry, wrong camera. I'm always waving and greeting everyone. And sorry if I left out somebody. And also thank you, Winsec, for the host. Thank you, I really appreciate it. And thanks for... I have a new channel point request, which everyone can find at the channel points, like the show me what you got, and Loan just claimed it, and thank you for the claim. I did. I think it was set for 1 minute or 2 minutes, I'm not sure. Like, you know, in Twitch there is some interactivity with the audience. Like, if you are watching the stream, you gain points, and you can claim different perks for that points. And one of the new perk is show me what you got from, yeah, it's a praise from Rick and Morty, but it's like changing my camera to let's just show you what I got to the setup, so they can see on what setup am I streaming.
Nice.
And just back here. So yeah, I try to make it as interactive as I can. So, would you mind if I answer that question? Like,
yeah, please.
I don't know. It was about 5 months ago. You were making Breaking Orbit. What's the track called?
Yeah, the EP.
Yeah, the EP.
Yeah, well, it was a track. It was a track, and then it was all the tracks. It started with one track, and then it's kind of like the 2020 mixtape. It's just stuff that I was working on before, which was not Nit Grit. It was solo stuff. It has a different feel to it. And I kind of was battling with, should I call it Danny Beall or should I call it Nit Grit? Because it's still me. It's still my music. So it was kind of released as a pseudo Nit Grit thing. And then Yeah. So I'll let you go from there. Sorry.
No problem. So he was releasing Breaking Orbit, and he made a Facebook post saying like, I got a new tune. I really need some catchy artwork for that. It just really needs the artwork to be posted. And I was like, I just got home like at the evening. That was like, okay, I can do something. I put something together in 40 minutes, but I guess a lot of people were faster than me, and I
liked it. I saw it right off the bat. I liked it.
Yeah, and that wasn't the main artwork after all. It was I if I'm correct, a Spanish artist.
Yeah, it was another. I don't know. He kind of captured the art. I forgot his name off the top of my head. I would have to but he sent me this artwork, and I was like, I mean, the artwork kind of hit it on the nail, where it was just it was a woman, and there was like a lot of things orbiting around her, different. It just kind of captured the Breaking Orbit EP kind of feel. But I remember seeing yours, going how clean it was. It was very clean, and I was thinking, and I actually made a post after that saying, hey, I'll be hitting up others that have submitted, and thank you everybody for submitting it. And I was looking at yours, going, I need to hit this guy up. So
wow,
that's
I didn't even knew that.
Yeah, yours was definitely there, because I was about. I mean, it was just that artwork was awesome. That was made that he had for the Broken Orbit EP, and it just fit it really well. But I saw yours, and I was like, this is extremely clean. I really like that. And I mean, again, I can't pick. I mean, I was just happy that people even were like, again, this is not my career anymore. I do not make money off this. All the mastering, all this comes out of my own pocket at this point, just so I can get it up and post it, and anything, it's just out of my pocket. So my fans rising to the occasion and shooting me artwork, I felt just so grateful that I have fans that they're that awesome. And thank you for everyone that actually shot me artwork. Like, that's amazing. And I'm extremely grateful. And this is what I'm saying is, like, I have such solid fans. And it makes me feel, I think for a long time, playing shows and having, a lot of, fans in general would make me feel validated as an artist. But now it's like my fans that I have that call me by my name and know what I do, and they know my projects. Like, I feel validated as an artist, and my fans make me feel like I have the best fans in the world. So I couldn't ask for anything better. But yeah, for them to come through and start shooting artwork when I need it, usually I would have to hit up a designer, give them money, and then it would be a concept that didn't really match the song. But this is where you and I kind of, like, when you started sending me artwork, there was just a vibe with your artwork that vibed with the song perfectly, and I didn't have to do anything. It was your intuition. You were extremely intuitive, and it got to the point where I'm making these tunes, not even finishing them, wondering what you're going to do and make to it. So it was kind of this weird synergy between both of us. And so I didn't mean to cut you off there, but I was just wanted to say that how intuitive you are.
Yeah. So basically the story was like, after that you hit me up with some text, like, I really liked that you really liked my artwork, and you have a new tune, and and things escalated quickly. So right now maybe I can say that I am your main graphic designer. I don't know, not sure how to phrase that.
Yeah,
but
you're 100%
we just did your logo rework, which was like crazy. I never did something like this, and believe me, like we were meeting online in this week, and we were showcasing ideas and pitching things about this artwork, which I'm working right now. And Danny already said that he wanted to make a new logo, to have a new logo, and I was like, okay, but I didn't have anything particular in mind. And I was like, okay, so we usually start making logos like this and this and this, and I was just showing him some process how we could go through, and after 30 minutes we were almost ready with the logo. Like, he was saying, okay, that font looks awesome. Okay, what if we make, and we made the logo in a corporation, I guess. Yeah, like, I never did something like that with a client to be by my side virtually and doing the logo and live. Like, it was awesome.
Yeah, it was really fun to watch you work, to watch you just like go. You're extremely good with like symmetry, which is a big thing for me with logos, and I think that's why I liked the older logo, even though it wasn't really legible. That's why it needed to change. I like symmetry, especially like the triangle in the back. Like you're able to just, I feel like it's such a fresher look. It's simplified. I don't think anyone's seen the other than the one I posted on my social medias where it's the NG within the triangle. They haven't seen the full Nit Grit one where it has the triangle, but it says Nit Grit on it yet. Well, yeah, you sent it to me this morning, so I know they haven't. So,
yeah. So I already changed my mind about the artwork. Like,
okay, well, we can work on that before we release it. But I was just very impressed watching you work.
But I mean, like this artwork, like we won't need this. I think it's called Collarbone. Like this place, I just get rid of
Collarbone is right here.
So I think we won't need that because in this way it most of the lines are shaping like a V or it's a vortex, or how do you say that things in the oceans whirlpool, like you know, it's a cleaner look. So I will get a nice red brush and I will show what I was trying to be talking about. Like if we are looking at these lines, the overall positions of them makes a nice looking shape like this. And if we put something like here, it would really just draw the attention from the other parts. So I'm not lazy, don't get me wrong. So yeah, I think it would be best, and I really did this on purpose to which one was that, upper eyes, and I didn't mask it, like to really just disappear at the ends, and maybe I will do something like this to make it, and this one is also another layer, like so it gets a little bit paradox, or I don't know, like is it really there? Is it just a fantasy? Yeah, you know the words, like it's so hard for me to express myself with words. That's why maybe I started shooting videos, making graphic design, taking pictures, like I always looking for new ways to express myself visually, and it's so hard for me, especially in a different language.
I can only imagine. I can only imagine.
It's like I use all of my softwares and all of my tools in English, like for 10 years already, and it's easier for me to say the English version of different tools that I'm using. Like I was just using the pen tool to make some lines, and then making the strokes with a brush fill, and then making it pressurized, like the line would get a much bigger weight in the middle and things like that. So it really follows the face. So. Yeah. And that was I was making in the last 30 minutes to make it just looks right, and I guess it needs some small corrections, and you could see that I used free transform and duplicated each side, and I also distorted them to not be totally identical, totally symmetrical, because the more symmetrical is something, like if it's truly symmetrical, it doesn't feel right. It has to be imperfect, just like the human body. Or I'm not sure if you get what I'm saying. Like,
I totally get it. I mean, everything you're saying right now translates to music. So it definitely, like, even having a humanizing feel to music, if you're a producer, understanding what quantization is where it snaps to the grid exactly on, if you make dubstep, it's going to be a half step beat. So on the first and on the third, if it sounds too robotic, if it's too perfect, it's just, you can, a listener subconsciously knows it doesn't feel right. There's not a swing to it. There's not, you can take things off the grid and just move it slightly. Like if you're a real drummer, you're not playing perfect beats. You're not perfectly in sync. So you kind of want to make the, your kicks and snares slightly off a little bit. It makes it more humanizing. So that's how like, yeah, if like what you're saying with the cover art, if it looks too perfect, it's just I think people wouldn't resonate with it because it's just too perfect.
Yeah, definitely.
They'll be able to see it.
Yeah, and you know, it's funny because I'm a really lazy graphic designer. I'm always using shortcuts. I'm always trying to make the best out with the less effort. Like, it sounds kinda bad, but sometimes it's really what gives me the ability to really simplify things and not to overthink it and not to make it something like 10,000 layers and so much particles and so much visual noise that nothing particular catches your eyes. And that was the problem with my artworks for like 4 or 5 years at the beginning when I started graphic design. Like, I was, what can we add to make it better? And that was the wrong question, because the correct question in graphic design is, what can you remove that still won't make it worse? So what is the simplest, cleanest and most authentic way to really showcase it without any visual noise, with a way, in a way which drives your attention to the details that really matters? Oh my god, I just finished the sentence! Yay! Like, I wasn't even sure if I can finish that sentence when I started it, but yeah. So
I think I totally resonate with that, because even with my music, I like complicated music, and I felt, again, I think a lot of my fans resonate with my older music, which was, I mean, in comparison of how I make music now, is extremely simple. Maybe 16 channels. I guess that would be equivalent to layers in Photoshop, different layers. It would be like 16 channels, and it would be it's embarrassing, but it's just like, I didn't know how to produce that well at that time. I didn't know that you needed to do certain things. But as I started learning more and became a better producer, I naturally overcomplicated things. And every true producer knows that you want the right sound, and you don't want to overcomplicate things too much. If you're not using the right kick or snare, then you need to switch it out to something that is just quality. You're not trying to make something bad sound good. You want something that sounds good off the bat. So it makes it very easy. And I thought that was actually, and again, I don't do this all the time. There's plenty of my songs that I have kind of crappy samples or something. But like, I thought with the new track YOUU, I thought, you know, it's really just the kick and the clap snare. They're single. I didn't layer them or anything. It just kind of came like that. But they sounded so good. They actually hold better than some of my other music. Just because I'd be layering and doing stuff that was really messing up the mix. And so, I mean, that was just that was my latest song, and I'm just learning this. Like, I really need to simplify what I'm doing. And the channels went from like 100 channels, and it's going down again back to, you know, something manageable. Like, you want to make the sound right off the bat, and not have so many layers that, like you're saying, once you overcomplicate something, trying to balance a mix when you have 100 channels and one thing's fighting with another, and there's call and responses between things, and the levels are different, it becomes really messy, and you could hear that in the end result. So when you have something that is just a solid track, if that's your synth or your bass, and everything is clean and where it needs to be set in the mix, is simplified. Even though there's a lot of aspects that are complex, at least for a producer, would be the effects. I guess it would be the same for you, putting effects and putting different things in places. But the effects, if you get the effects, the compression right, it just sits in the mix better.
Yeah.
And so I guess it translates very well to visual. I mean, you have a lot of effects, a lot of brushes, if you get it right the first time, you don't have to mess with it so much. And it just feels right when you look at it.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm not trying to explain your artwork because I have no clue. I'm sitting here trying to explain you.
The thing is, like, you need to spend. I think you need to spend more time coming up with an idea that is clean and pure and really not noisy. Yeah, I'm using the noisy word a lot right now, but which is a much simpler idea, and making the small parts you put a lot of effort to the small parts to make it look better, but not putting so much effects on everything that it starts to look messy. The thing is here right now, I just made 3 different layers for the parts. One is let me show you. So the first one is just why is it in normal? Okay, I messed it up already. Like the first one is in overlay, and we made it like a little bit less reactive with a color overlay, which is a brownish color. And we then added a blur, and we have the main lines which are black, and at 75%, because 100% is too pure, 50% is too grayish. Like you need to really hit the sweet spot for that. And I'm always like, okay, 73% looks the best, but my OCD kicks in, and I'm like, okay, 75 it is. So what if we take a small break? I really need to get some fresh air. And in the meantime, welcome everyone once again. Sorry, I can't really focus on the chat right now. If you are having any questions for me or Nit Grit, feel free to tag us, and it will pop out in red for me if you tag us. And yeah, thank you very much. Itzakul is one of my high school friends. He's a really good guy, and he is also every time here when I'm streaming, and I'm so glad that after years of like separation, we finally get to really kind of spend time together once again. Like, yeah. So anyway, we have some things to show you. Like, what do you think? We should start with the Akashic Halls time lapse. So be in like in, yeah. So first of all, I'm not sure if you already saw that, but I made also the Akashic Halls artwork, and I made a time lapse of it. And yeah. No. I think we should go with Devil's Index. Like Akashic Halls time-lapse was out for like months on YouTube right now, so everyone could see it. We will show it later. But also the Devil's Index was out last week, I guess. Am I right?
Yes, a couple of days ago. Yeah, I don't know anymore. The minute that was out, I just started focusing on YOUU, and then YOUU turned into a mixtape. So hopefully people like the mixtape. I don't know. It's a mini mixtape of just, it has the Devil's Index, it has Akashic Halls, it has 2 unreleased remixes and YOUU on it. So it's definitely it's kind of all over the board, but it's showcasing all the new stuff.
So we will take a short break, but in the meantime, I also made a time lapse while I was making the Devil's Index artwork. And I will show you that, and after that we will be coming back with the 2020 mixtape, which was released today. So a lot of fresh things, and this is the first time you will see this time lapse, how I made that nightmarish looking door, and we will talk about maybe Devil's Index later while listening to your mixtape. So thank you, Insec, for claiming the ad break. This will be a perfect ad break for you all. We will be back in 4 minutes, and then please have a look at this thing. So see you guys in a bit. Yeah. Let me find that. Okay. A little bit of problem. Yeah. Okay. Just a sec. Just a sec. And I'm not quite sure if you can hear it. I hope you will. So we are back right now. Thank you for the small break. How did you find that short video?
I'm back. Sorry.
Something. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. The main problem is, like, here we go. That my main monitor, which I'm working on, is it's a 21:9 aspect ratio, and most of the streaming platforms and things like that works with 16:9, and it's so hard to really put through an overlay and a stream structure that really shows all what I'm trying to say, and I didn't switch the scenes, so it was a little bit cropped on both sides. Sorry for that. But the next video, the Akashik Falls timelist, will be better. Oh, and also I need to like okay. I'm not at the. Yeah, we are listening. You once again, and now comes the mixtape.
Okay.
So yeah, we are back.
Cool.
Quick mic check.
I'm here.
Cool. Okay, so thanks once again, and please feel free to really say how did you like that time lapse and things like that. Anything like it's an unwritten rule, but every critic is welcome in my channel. Like I'm a lot of time I'm trying to get people to really make a statement. How do they like what I'm doing? To really give feedback for me, because I think that's the only way I can really improve. So like yeah.
I think that's good. I think it's good to an extent, because if you have everyone critiquing you, then it changes your style. I think well, obviously I think it's awesome. That's why I keep coming to you, and you're my main graphic designer, is because you what you do and how intuitive you are with taking like a piece of my music and turning it into something that visually has, again, especially with a song like The Devil's Index, where it's a concept song, and I had to explain to you the dream and what it was, and you're able to, like, with the 4 keyholes. I don't think the fans know that. I mean, there's an extended version. The original one is the one I gave you, but there's an extended version. But that song did not have drums or bass on it. It was just, if you listen to the first 2 minutes of the extended version, that's what the track was when I was actually creating it from a concept of, I didn't care for it to have any heavy elements in it. I just wanted to make, it was almost going to be like an ambient, weird, eerie tune. And then at the end of it, like, I started creating another part, and that is actually the first verse of that, like that trappy first verse with like the snares that are kind of sporadic that it goes into, and then it just kept building from there and there and there. And then I cut out the first 2 minutes. It did to me match at all, like to have like this weird 2 minute long intro to a song. So I cut it out, and it wasn't until like, I mean, I already released it. I already had it on distribution to be released, and I decided I'm just going to make an extended version. It makes more sense with the concept of, you know, of the feeling of the track, of like moving throughout this house and seeing all these insanely crazy creatures and horrific things, but not being like frightened. It was kind of a very strange concept for a track, and I thought you embodied that very well. I mean, to be able, there's a Victorian door with the 4 keyholes, which is like the 4 rooms, which would be the four drops or choruses in the song, because it is a kind of a weird structured song. It's kind of not like a normal formula. It kind of just goes into this very intense, aggressive space, to pulls back into this really not ambient, but just airy space, back into something aggressive. It's just like this back and forth until the song just kind of ends. It's kind of it's an odd track. It's a weird one.
Yeah, it's definitely a weird one. But you know, when I first listened to it, I was like, yeah, it sounds like it has 4 different parts or more different parts and things like that. Oh my god, I can't even get a straight line. So it was like when I first listened to the tune, I was thinking like, how could we visualize that it has different parts that sounds really different? And I was like, okay, what about different doors? And then you came with the idea, or then you showed me or told me what was behind that track, and I was like, yeah, we will gonna go with that, but without showcasing 4 doors, so it won't, like, if we have put 4 different doors on the artwork, it would get messy. Like if you are watching it on Spotify or Bandcamp or other sites where there is really just a thumbnail, it would be so you wouldn't feel the same. Like what if we make one door 4 different doors by putting 4 different keyholes in it, like a magic door, which I'm not sure if you are familiar with Lock and Key, the Netflix series, and also I think it's a comic book. But there was like this idea that there are magic keys which can open any door, but depending on the key, like if you have the teleporting key, every door you open and think about the place that door will lead you there. Or if you open a door with the soul key, if you open the door, any door, like with that key, you will become a ghost if you walk through it, and things like that.
That's a cool concept.
So
I like that.
yeah, and it's a really good Netflix show. Like I'm not sure when will season 2 come out, but it's really good. So I was twisting that idea, like what if instead different keys we have different holes, and that door leads to different nightmares in your case.
Yeah, I like that.
So right now I made some selections depending these parts or these separators. How could I say that these little things that separates the different planes of her face, and I'm making some highlights since or you know, we got and let me get another layer right now, and I will show you what I had in mind, and just bring back the good old red. So we have a hard clear light from this side, but we really want to get that out of the equation. Like we just made this part a little bit darker, so now there was a big fill light from this side. And let me show you the original photos so you will understand it better. Like just get this to the top. Like as you can see, there was our hard clear light from the left, and there was a soft fill light from this side. And now we little changed it up so the fill light would be more powerful, and that's why we are making these highlights in the right side of her face and on the right side of these planes. And we will also go back once again with shadows, but on the opposite sides. And I just find out that I could make it in one step. Like I'm sometimes a little bit stupid. Sorry.
You're not stupid at all, man. I love watching you work, and like it's so crazy to see that you take an image, because when you're showing me stock images and we have this conversation, it's like I can't imagine what you're imagining right now. It's like if I played a synth for you that was a basic sine wave or a square wave, you'd be like, that's pretty boring, you know. It's like, well, give me a second, I can probably turn it into something pretty cool. And that's what, when you see images that are kind of stock images like that, like that is your synth. That is you tweaking knobs and really turning it into something very detailed with a lot of concept. And I really love that. Like it's so awesome to watch you work.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. Yeah, but you know, when I, oh my god, where am I? On what layer? I need now the shadows. Yeah. So where I'm working on stream, and in this case, like people would claim that I'm kind of slow right now. because most of the times I'm so much faster at work, like really fast, and that's why I had for a long time in my overlay a keystroke list, like every shortcut or every key I pressed was showing up, and now I have a dedicated camera that is recording only my hands, and so people could see what I'm pressing and when I'm pressing things, and how am I keeping up. But now to like listening you talking English, trying to understand English and trying to speak in English as well is like taking up so much part of my brain that
It's taking up the CPU.
yeah. It's really taking up all my computing powers, and I need more time to think on a way to how to finish this. Like I just now made some very wonky selections here. Let me correct that, and I think we need some bigger parts here. Like and the most thing whenever I came up with an idea like this one, so we would make an artwork live, sometimes I try to make it pre-order stream, just test out that everything will work, what I had in mind will look good and things like that. But I didn't have time I didn't have enough time today. Like I was working and was away from my PC, and and I'm honest to say, this is we are now much further than I could try out. So sometimes now I have to really think, okay, how could we make it look better? Like yeah.
No, yeah, you're doing great, and I totally feel you having to. I mean, be able to create art, manage, a Twitch stream, talk to me. There's a lot going on right now. I don't have to do much but talk, and I'm having a hard time. But I commend you. I mean, you're doing great, and your art, it looks great. And I just, again, I'm forgetting that I'm on a stream right now. And I'm just watching you, so I'm probably making dumb faces, just like staring. But no, this is amazing. If anyone has any questions, I'll answer like in the chat. I keep looking over at what you're doing, Savi, and I'm totally down to answer some more questions too.
Yeah, and the thing is with me, feel free to make any dumb faces. It could also be a challenge because you couldn't make any dumber face than I can when I'm really concentrating. I'm that type of people who are maybe cutting a piece of paper, and I'm like with my mouth really concentrating and really making faces. Like I'm not sure how could I end up like this, but yeah.
You've never seen me play live then, so I'm making like crazy faces.
You never saw me partying in the first row during some sick dubstep sets. Like one time Schism was here at Budapest and the Corvin Club, and I was headbanging so hard on the first row, like really getting that thing, that bars you hold, like I just headbanged that bar so hard one of my teeth fell out.
Oh jeez.
During the set, and I was like, oh my god, I just threw it in the back, and I was like keeping
my god. So, I mean, you went hard. You went real hard.
I was a really hard party goer back in the days. Now I'm getting old.
It happens to all of us. But yeah, I mean, that's what got me into the dubstep scene, because it wasn't popular. When I was like younger, 16, 17, 18, I would go to underground raves, but it really wasn't the scene for me. It wasn't really. I like trance music. I mean, but I was never like a candy raver or anything like that. It was just, I was like a dude wearing normal clothes at a rave. And I don't know, it wasn't until the underground dubstep scene came, and dubstep to me was quite boring back in the late 2000s. So where it was just, I mean, it was, I liked the party, I liked the feel. I love drum and bass parties because it was more like the hip hop crowd, and it was just a lot of energy. And I kind of felt that the underground dubstep scene kind of brought that crowd and that vibe. Again, just as it was evolving, that's really inspired me to, you know, switch from making just straight experimental electronic to, well, I'm going to try to make my own version of this dubstep with more melodies. And but to me, a lot of the parties were really boring with the music, where it would just be like a kick and a snare, half stepped with just a what kind of feel to it. And it's like, well, why don't they just make that spaz out? I'm so used to listening to things like Aphex Twin and stuff, like where it becomes really intense. Like, why don't they try to go crazier? And there were artists, there were UK artists like Bar 9. I really like Bar 9. And
me too. That, yeah.
So there was a sound, and then Excision came out. It's like, these are the sounds. These are like they're coming, like, you know, like Excision coming, I believe, from drum and bass, like taking those sounds and then putting a half step to it, and like kind of just the sound design and the bass. It wasn't boring anymore to me, but I like melodic things, and I think that's what I brought to the table. You know, was bringing some melodies into the music. It's weird to like see where it is now. It's you know, where the evolution of the dubsteps turn into things like, and I kind of get it when I listen to like rhythm now. I'm not trying to dog on it, but it all sounds the same to me, and that sounds like what people said to me about dubstep when I was making it. It all sounds the same. It's like, maybe I'm just getting old. Maybe like, because I listened to this, like, I'm not going to say his name, his EP. He has a good amount of followers, and I listened to the EP, and I was on SoundCloud just going to each track, and I was like, that all kind of sounds the same. It all sounds like the same note being played. But is that how people felt about, you know, what I was doing when I'm like, I mean, I would get it. I mean, if you have no context to it, maybe I'm just old and have no context to that genre, but I get it. It's extremely heavy. It's extremely, I can understand being an 18-year-old wanting to listen to rhythm and just spaz out. Yeah, I'm not 18 anymore, so maybe it's not my go-to.
So yeah, and I also hit another red end, like I couldn't really see how much shadow did I put in there. So now I'm making something like when we were coloring comics, like I'm making a really hard outline here, and that will be just for us to easier select the highlights. So as I'm yeah, it will be a little bit more time, sorry about that, guys, but in this way later we will we will win so many times. Like if I make this selection or make this, it won't be seeable, or it won't be visible, sorry, it won't be visible on the final artwork. It's just for us to have a place where or have a layer where we can say, like, if it's even hidden, I can just come here, press Ctrl, and I will have a selection, and I will add another layer or different layers and things like that. So I just really have to do this right now. It's a really time-consuming part, but don't worry, these hard lines won't be visible once we finish the artwork. Like, yeah, just really need to somehow fasten up the pace, like shorten the time, because we won't be finishing in 2 hours, I guess. Like, yeah.
It's okay. Does anyone have any questions? I'm down to ask any questions. I don't even know how many people are in this chat. I don't even know what I'm looking at on Twitch, if it's at the top or whatever.
We are about 30 viewers right now.
Someone say something. Ask something.
Yeah,
anything.
it will work like a mask, but it's mostly just aid for us to be able to really select it. Like, yeah, and I made. Oh my god, how could I make this? Okay, let me think. Let me think this through. This side, because we have a hard light here, and this hard light is like almost like it's coming from the from down under, like coming this way up,
Yeah, I see.
like in this way. I mean, I'm not quite sure, or maybe a little bit flatter like this way. So yeah, I need to come up with an idea for that. Maybe with a lasso tool, like thing like this. Oh my god, yeah. No. Something
We got
like
some questions
this.
down here. I'm gonna answer some of
Yeah.
these questions down here. Okay, would you
Okay.
go the easy route of ordering Chinese food for lunch, or be responsible and cook food you have in the kitchen? I cook all my food now. I don't want to get into it because it's embarrassing, but basically I'm gluten free and dairy free, and I get so much shit for that. So, but you know what? Because again, coming from, I used to love pizza. Pizza was my favorite food. On my writer, when I show up to a city in the green room, like there needed to be a pizza. So like it was a
Pizza
big
is
part of my
life.
life, and now I don't eat pizza anymore. Well, what you could call pizza, I don't eat real pizza anymore. So it actually taught me how to cook and eat healthier. So I would make my own. I would make my own food, which I'm kind of proud of myself with, because before I was just one of those people that was just like, well, I'll just order out. I'll just like. But now I enjoy cooking. It's one of my things I like to cook. Most common question: where did the name Nit Grit come from? Yeah, that's the most. I mean, that is the most common question, and I wish I had a cool story behind it, but it really wasn't. And this is really going to show you how old I am. When I made Nit Grit, MySpace was still a thing. So, and so basically, I didn't know. It was like I was trying to make this dubstep music. It wasn't like my Sloth Logic project. It wasn't experimental, but it was just. It was early Nit Grit, and so I just sat there staring at the screen of MySpace, like, what should I call this? It's kind of, gritty. It's kind of like, and again, I was influenced by a lot of the UK style of like the Stenchman and Barnine. They had a really wonky style back in 2009 that was very different than the US dubstep scene, and I really liked it. I thought it was really cool. And I was like, well, nitty gritty. Maybe I can just call it Nit Grit with capitalize the T's, and people will see it as nitty gritty. And that's what I did. So I wish it was a more complex, cool story that came about, and it just became Nit Grit at that point. And the funny thing is, people were like, how do I pronounce this? Nitty gritty or just Nit Grit? And I'm like, well, and I thought in my head it would be nitty gritty, but it's just Nit Grit. I spelled it Nit Grit. So it stuck. And I mean, I don't know. It's, I don't know. That's the name. That's the best. That's the story. I'm sorry if it was underwhelming in every way. What is the weirdest situation that you have been in during any tours? Oh, Jesus. Countless very weird situations. I'm trying to think of like one that's man, I'm trying to like think back like early on, because everything was really weird to me early on. Flying to like it's a trip to get semi-popular and go to a state you've never been in, to a city you've never been in, and walk to a venue that people are like, the line is wrapped around for them to get into your show, and they already know who you are. Those were, and so like anything that was a new experience at that point was just overwhelming. And as you start touring and it becomes your career, not a lot of things faze you anymore because you've seen it all at that point. I remember because I was still playing underground raves, because in California the dubstep scene was blowing up, but it was more like this West Coast scene. But up in Seattle, it was still very much a lot of ravers, and so they were still having warehouse parties. And I remember playing. This is before I was on any big agency. I remember playing a show on a table in one of the rooms in the warehouse, and I'm trying to get through it. People are dancing, and some kid on acid. Sorry, I have to back up the story a little bit. About 5 days earlier, I bought my brand new MacBook Pro, and that's what I was playing off of to DJ. I needed it for this gig. I learned how to DJ in Ableton. I didn't do vinyl. I was a producer. It was the only way I knew how to DJ. And so I was playing this gig. I'm about halfway through this gig. This kid on acid walks up with a water bottle and just dumps it all over.
Oh my God.
Apparently he did not like what I was playing. And I'm standing there just like, what do I do? Like, and I remember fighting with the promoter. I'm like, dude, like, someone just destroyed my computer. Like, are you going to pay for it? And he's like, nah. It's like, all right. And then that was that. Like, at that point, I had no leverage. I couldn't go to my agency and say, hey, blacklist these people. They're assholes. It was just going home with a broken computer. It's like,
oh my God.
I mean, I have countless stories of just weird stuff happening. I'm trying to think of like, I don't know, but that was the one that kind of came off the top of my head because, like I said, when everything's new for you, it's a big deal. Like I've had people. Here's a good one. Another Seattle story. A lot of, again,
welcome to Seattle.
It's not Seattle. It was was it Mount St. Helens? It was out in the middle of nowhere in Washington, and there was a rave. And I get there. It was like a 3-hour drive into the woods, and it was this big rave in a barn. And the promoter was out doing his own thing, and I'm basically just walking around. I'm like, hey, is there a green room or something? Again, really early on in my career. It wasn't like I was headlining this thing, but it was all like trance being played, and then I'm the headliner doing dubstep, whatever. I'm gonna go with the flow. I get there early. People haven't even arrived yet. I'm like, so is there a green room? He's like, no, we got a tent for you though, if you want to just go hang out in a tent, like a full on just like 2-person tent. I'm like, all right. So I just started wandering around, and there were some characters out there. I saw two pregnant ladies fist fight.
What? Oh my God.
And it was insanity. It was
sorry for my humor, but it was like something.
This is like right when the show's starting. Like, and I'm watching these two ladies. I want to say the late teens, early 20s, just fist fighting it out. And I'm like, that really set the mark for like the rest of the night of like weird stuff happening. We're just going to skip past that one. And so basically at the end of my set, I'm like, and I had a flight at 6 a.m. to get back to Seattle. It was a 3-hour drive to get back. And I'm trying to find a promoter, but no one's sober to drive. Everyone is just rolling dick, and and I'm like, so I got to be back in Seattle in like 3 hours. And they're like, yeah, we're going to try to find someone to drive you, but everyone took a bunch of drugs. And I'm like, all right, well, that's pretty irresponsible when you knew that I had to be back at the airport at like 6 or 7 a.m. So I go back to my tent, and I'm just sitting in there for a while, and they're like, hey, we found you a ride. And it was just this other lady, young lady. She's like, yeah, she's sober. She'll give you a ride. We're going to go. And we get in the truck, and we start this drive. I'm tired as hell. I'm very tired. I have a hard time sleeping on flights. So I have a hard time sleeping even like the night before a show, because I'm like nervous. And then, so I didn't sleep for like, basically it felt like 24 hours. Like, and I'm going back, I'm starting to fall asleep in this truck. And this young lady has this compulsion that she has to talk, and she has to have you listen. And it was the weirdest thing ever. I told her, I was like, hey, I'm really tired. I would like to go to sleep or try to sleep a little bit before getting on a flight, which I have a hard time sleeping on. And she's like, yeah. And then she would just start talking, and then she would just keep talking. And I was like, okay, there's something kind of wrong here. And it was like that for 3.5 hours to get back to the airport. And so just strange stuff like that. I have another one when I was in Billings, Montana. That's a really good story. I don't know if we should keep talking about weird stuff. I can keep talking about weird, crazy stuff.
It's cool. It's cool. Like, it's good to listen to. Like,
I love Montana. It's one of the states that, like, it's beautiful. The people are amazing. I love Montana. It's always a pleasure for me to go there. But my first time going there, I played 2 shows in a row. One was in Missoula, and the next night was in Billings. And the Missoula show went off. It was so fun. Sold out, great show, great people. The next day, the promoter to that show was driving me to Billings. Billings was a lot different than Missoula. And so it was a fun adventure the whole way. There's a lot of parts of this story, but we're just going to get to Billings because Billings is where the action started happening. It seemed that everyone that was with me from Missoula never been to Billings before, and did not know what to expect. We show up to this venue. It's not a venue. It's a hollowed out movie theater.
wow.
Okay. Yeah. And they put a stage where the screen would be. And it was very strange. Everyone there was very much underage, and everyone there was very much high on illegal drugs. And it felt dirty. Felt really dirty being there. The kids from Missoula, they're not kids anymore, but the kids from Missoula look frightened, like they've never seen this before. And it was a very strange space. So I used to smoke cigarettes. I'm not proud of it, but I would stand outside while I was smoking a cigarette. And in the parking lot, it was during the winter, so there's snow everywhere. There's a guy in like this Lincoln that's driving around in a small parking lot, just hitting his brakes, acting like he has shock, like little hydraulics. It was the most ratchet thing I've ever seen. Until the next thing happened, where these 3 poi dancers came out, and they had their poi sticks, the ropes, and they start dumping it in the gasoline or whatever. And I'm sure that they were really high too. So they light it all on fire. They're going. There's like 3 of them. They're kind of distanced away from each other, but one dude is holding the lighter fluid stuff and catches himself on fire. The other 2 poi dancers see this happening with their flames, so still going, and they run over to him to put him out. And by doing that, knocked it all over him. And this guy is fully blown on fire. I'm standing here with the Missoula friends, smoking a cigarette, watching a dude in a Lincoln acting like he has hydraulics, and a human being is on fire in front of me. And then everyone had to jump on this dude to get him out. They finally get him out, and he's like pulling skin off of himself. It was, I mean, at this point, I'm feeling unsafe, which I think is a valid feeling. You know, I'm a big dude. I don't get scared, but at this point, like, this place is a little bit different, or at least this party. I'm not gonna call out Billings. Again, love Montana. I'm not calling out Billings, but this party was definitely pretty ratchet. At that point, an ambulance shows up, but the ambulance doesn't show up for the guy. The guy that started pulling skin off, he just walked out into the distance. He just started walking down the street.
Really?
He just started walking down the street. I
God.
thought the ambulance was there for him. No, there was 3 girls that OD'd inside. It was just
my God.
all within like 15 minutes of like being there. And it was like, okay, I play my set. I get the hell out of there. The promoter put me up in this shack that had black mold. It was like a shack. That's the only way I can put it. The Missoula like crew that was with me, I think it was 4 people. They didn't have anywhere to stay. I was like, hey, just stay with me in my shack. And
black molded shack.
I felt so bad for them. I felt so terrible. Like, that must have been a culture shock because I was scared. I'm from California. I've seen crazy shit. I've never seen anything like that. Like people on fire, people ODing. Like it was the most ratchet party. And they were just like, well, we don't know where to go. I'm like, yo, just stay with me. I think, you know, they were up a little bit longer, tripping a little bit. And I was playing them like, it's an Adult Swim show called Off the Air. And they would play like Flying Lotus, like videos. And they had a Blockhead video that was really dope. And they were just stoked to be there. I was like, hey, if one of you guys can just drive me to the airport in the morning, you could stay here. And my flight was super early. But yeah, I mean, that's only part of the story, but that's the crazy part. Just like, that's some crazy stuff, you know, like, and again, that's not the only weird stuff I've ever seen, but that one was really like the first time where I'm like, I feel unsafe. Like, you know, like this is just way out of hand, but I don't know if I went on a tangent there talking about weird stuff.
You can like I have some really messed up stuff also, but I'm not sure if I really will like because
it's just like it's
no because I mean, like it's just someone I used to be. Like I was a photographer at parties for like 3 years, and in the recent year, not recent. At one year, I was attending about 3 or 4 parties a week. So it's a lot.
That's a lot of partying.
Yeah, and there was a time at the carving club where there were a regular place like Wednesday. Okay, it's Rewind. That was the party called. Then. Thursday, it's Collectiva. Okay, here we go again. Friday, that was my birthday. Okay. Saturday, Rewind special after party. Say no more. And yeah, and that was a regular week. And at Saturday, when we were like, okay, one last time, we really need to make this night special. And I was like standing in a queue before putting my backpack and my coat into the cloakroom, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the biggest security guys ever seen on planet Earth is looks like Hulk Hogan or something like this, and he was putting both of his hands on my shoulders from behind.
Oh, no.
and I was just standing in the queue. It was after opening the venue, and he puts both of his hands on my shoulders, turns me over like I was spinning like hell, and says, "If you get so fucked up tonight like you did the previous night, we will really kick you out now."
Oh,
and I was like, oh my god, what happened? I can't even remember.
They remembered you.
Yeah, they remembered me.
They remembered you. Oh, man.
Here you go. Yeah. So, yeah, I had some really, really fucked up nights as well. Like, one time, I was helping out some friends. They were organizing dubstep parties at the capital, Budapest, and I was the rider. I think you can say rider, the guy who rides a car and picks up the DJs at airport, transfer them to the venue. Yeah, so I was a rider for Hazer.
The driver, yeah, you're the driver for him.
For Hazer, who is a South African electronic DJ. I'm not sure if you are familiar with him. And you know, the plane ticket was so high that it was easier for the organizers, the promoters, to book hotel for a week instead of buying a plane ticket back to South Africa. Mm-hmm. Because his next show was in Vienna, which is like 300 kilometers or 200 miles from here.
Yeah.
And I was Hazers Rider every evening, and I was never drinking. Like, you know, we have zero tolerance. You can't even drink a beer or something like that. The police would take your driving license, and you could never drive again, and things like that. So anyway, on a Tuesday night, yeah. Oh, and I already made the shadows. Nice. That highlights nice. And on a Tuesday night, we found ourselves at 2 a.m. There is a big avenue in Budapest, and there were some pillows on the street, like pillows and blankets and things like that, put to the sidewalk, like tomorrow morning the garbage man will collect them, or anything. And they were so drunk, they started pillow fighting, and I just jumped in. And at 2 a.m. Tuesday night on the Blaha Luisa Square, we were pillow fighting like if there was no tomorrow. So yeah. and this is one of the easier stories.
Yeah, I mean, there's stories. There's definitely lots of stories, but yeah, I wish I could. Yeah, I don't know, publicly talking about crazy stuff that happened. But yeah, it's part. I think it's part of the industry. Like, it's just part of it. Like, if you're touring, crazy stuff's gonna happen. Like, partying rule 101.
Crazy stuff will always happen.
It's gonna happen if you like it or not. Like, like when you're on tour and you're on a bus, basically you show up to a city. It's already probably 6 p.m. You're doing sound check. You need to find something to eat real quick, and then you're at the venue till 2, 3, 4, and then you literally leave from there to the next city. So you're on a bus, and it's just like Groundhog's Day over and over again. But it's very fun, but it's so draining. I've always had a hard time with touring because about 5 days in, like, everyone glorifies it, but you get about 5 days in, you're like, I'm ready to go home. And you look at the schedule and you're like, I just want to go home. Yeah, I got another 2 months of this. So you got to pace yourself when you're touring. You got to take care of yourself. And again, this is before, like, I had allergies to dairy and wheat. And I did not want to address that while I was a touring artist. And so basically, I chose not to eat most of the time because you feel sick if you eat something and then you go on stage because you're so nervous, you just feel sick the whole time. And so, like, I was eating like Caesar salads and stuff like that, and pizza before, like, I really addressed, my allergens. And so I just felt sick all the time on tour, which is miserable, being nauseated all the time on tour. So yeah, it's like Groundhog's Day every day touring. And I would lose weight, and it was just like, yeah, it's stressful. It's a very stressful thing. I don't regret it. I mean, it's something that it's just a double-edged sword. You get to meet all these amazing people. You get to meet all these amazing fans, but at the same time, you get worn out very quickly. You get worn thin very quickly, and it's really hard sometimes. And this is another thing: is like, what if you're just having a bad day, but you're playing a show that night? What if you're having a really rough day? It's like trying to act like you're super stoked. Like, I'm stoked to be there, but if you're having a really bad day, it's hard to fake that. And I don't know. It takes a good, it takes a good actor to do that. I've had some bad experiences where bad things have happened in my life, and I'm just like wearing it on my face, and it's like anyone would. But people are there to see you, and they're so super stoked. But it's just sometimes hard to, like, fall into that mode. But I mean, that's a very small percentage of it. Most of the time when I play a show, I'm so stoked to be there. I'm so happy to see fans. Like, I want to say for most of my shows, I will jump down after my set and try to meet as many people as possible. I've been kicked out of venues because they're trying to close up shop. They're like, hey, you gotta, the meet and greet needs to go out into the street. And I'm more than happy to meet every single fan. Like, that's what makes me happy. That's my happy place, is when I meet people and they're there. And I just, that's where I feel like really happy as a touring musician, or when I was touring, is meeting everybody.
Okay, sorry. if I'm making some really bad sounds, it's just like something I messed up. like I'm really making
No,
myself like, okay, I messed this up, and I will I will say it. But like okay, I can't express myself. Sorry. Go on.
it's okay. No worries.
It's
Who would
like I
you-
make weird sound when I mess up something. Like, oh my god, ah, ooh.
I do the
And
same thing.
things like
I
that.
do the same thing. I make tons of weird sounds. I do the same thing. I'm looking at the bottom. It says, "Who would you most like to collaborate with?" Good question.
With me, right
Yeah,
now.
we're collaborating. Yeah, we're collaborating with you.
yeah, but for seriously.
Music wise, I don't know. Music wise, this is the worst time to draw a blank because there's so many artists like Wisp, probably. He's my favorite like electronic artist, and most people don't know of him, but he's influenced my music in a lot of ways. But he's an IDM artist. He's on Aphex Twin's label Reflex. Probably Wisp. He's really good. First Nit Grit show was Cervantes Denver 2010. That was a fun show. Oh well, it was fun, and there's a story with that Cervantes show because it was a huge pinnacle point in my career. It is actually what got me on to the Pretty Lights tour. That opened that on the
You
East
were
Coast.
on Pretty Lights tour.
It was my first tour.
Oh my
It was
god!
on the Pretty Lights tour. And so
Wow.
yeah, talk about like your first tour, playing for a lot of people. It was again, never being on tour. I've done Weekend Warrior. I would play one-off shows here and there. I was just starting, and then I jumped on the Pretty Lights tour when I jumped on to AM Only. But from what I was told, that Derek was actually in the audience. So if you, I mean, Cervantes is a venue in Denver, Colorado, and I think they're a 900 cap room. And what the promoter told me is they packed like 1,100 people in there. So everyone, I think there might be a YouTube video of it. So everyone is just crammed in this place. I believe it was my second time playing Denver because the first time was in Boulder. Second time, this place is packed beyond capacity. And it's called raver rain. When there's so many people in a room, it started dripping water from the ceiling. And this was the second time my computer broke. And I was deathly afraid at that point to talk on the mic to the crowd. Like deathly. I hated the thought of getting on the mic. I was not, I just wanted to play the music and everyone be happy. I wasn't as animated then. I was so nervous to be playing. And again, for a crowd like that was huge. And about halfway through my set, the water is just drenching down on my computer. The MIDI controller started working, but I would still be hitting clips with the trackpad to mix in the next track. And at one point, if I touched the trackpad of my computer, it was the blue screen of death.
Oh my
It
god!
it crashed. And again, there's so many people there, and it wasn't like people were mad. And this was like what was really cool was people are still chanting, people were still stoked I was there, and I'm just looking at my computer going, I'm so screwed right now. Like, and the show stopped halfway through my set to try to make it work. We came to the conclusion if I touched the trackpad, the computer crashed. It happened like 3 times in a row. So I was able to somehow use the arrow keys to get to Ableton and turn it on. And then from there, I was able to somehow open up the set. And what I would do was, if I needed to go to the next clip, I would use the arrows to highlight the clip and then press return to start the track. It was a very odd way to be mixing a track, but somehow I got through the set. It was an amazing show. And I had to, and to say I was afraid to talk on the mic. That was the first time I actually got on the mic and had to talk to the crowd. I think what I said was, you guys are like making it too hot, and like it's too hot in here. You guys got to stop sweating because it's ruining my computer or something. Like I mean, it's probably the cheesiest thing ever, but I just didn't know what to say. It was like, and then after that, I realized that using a mic was your biggest defense on stage. And I learned that if people know that you're nervous, like they can smell it. It's like They could see it, they could feel it, and it really changes the vibe. And I think after that show taught me confidence of, if you're going to be on stage, you're going to be the predator, you're going to be the prey, you know, like I don't want to be the deer. I don't want to be, the crowd will rip you up. I have stories of like, you know, crowds turning on me. It's not often, but I had a show in Atlanta where I got booed off stage of my own headlining show. That hurts. That's rough. I got warned by my fans before that show. I don't mean to switch topics to a different thing, but this is like, the Denver show taught me how to be on a mic, and you can kind of, it's not controlling the crowd, it's getting the crowd on your side, and it's kind of like checking in with them. And I don't know, it seemed that if you're scared at all on stage, they can smell it, and then people don't vibe as much. I don't know. That's my anecdotal experience with it.
They can smell it. They can smell fear. Run.
They can smell fear. They can smell fear. And so I had to learn how to like make an extension of myself, because naturally I'm a nervous person. I have anxiety, and I had to create this like alter ego of someone that's very confident. It's still me, but it's a very small. It's a part of me that is confident in all of these things, and I had to learn how to be like that on stage. It's a very strange thing to be able to have to deal. There's a lot of things happening when you're on stage, and there's a lot of adrenaline rushing. And to make a mistake, I'm still mixing my songs in Ableton. I mean, if you've been to my shows, I make mistakes all the time. And it's not a pre-recorded set. I still have all my songs all clipped up, and certain transitions I had to fabricate to work with another song. So I'll still mess up from time to time. But like having to deal with that, like being able to get on a mic and say, I messed up, you know, like, and feel comfortable with it, it empowers you again, other than you not saying anything and everyone's like, oh, this guy's kind of shitty, you know. But I'll tell you the story about being in Atlanta. Atlanta was a rough one. I remember I had some close friends and fans telling me, hey, you shouldn't play that venue. It was an 18 plus party. I usually didn't play 18 plus because they're a little bit more rowdy. And they like the heavier stuff, but it was just what was booked, and I played it. I get there, it is a sold out show. It was packed, and I'm like, wow, I have a lot of fans apparently that really want to come out. I mean, I played Terminal West, which every time I play Terminal West out there, this is another venue in Atlanta, has always gone great. I love Terminal West, but this is the first time playing a different venue. And my fans weren't stoked about me playing it. I didn't really know why, and I totally understand why now. Well, hindsight's 2020. I get on stage. There's like I'm playing with two other artists. I believe it's Mantis and someone else. And so it's very heavy tear out dubstep, and then me. And I get on stage, and this crowd, for one, doesn't know who I am, and they're expecting the heaviest dubstep of their life. And I'm coming out playing the prettiest shit they've ever, heard. And so they have this saying, it's ATL, oh, and they start chanting, "This song is terrible," for fucking 40 minutes. And I'm looking at the stage manager like, someone help me. Someone get the next DJ. Christ, just help me out here. That was a hard experience. There's no amount of getting on the mic, no amount of anything that's going to prepare you for fucking 80 or 800 people booing at you. But sometimes you just got to take it. You know, I've had great experiences where, I've had whole crowds chanting my name halfway through my set. I've had encores. So it's like, yeah, you learn from those experiences. Yeah, don't play that venue again. No one knew who I was, and I got ripped apart. But that's part of it, is learning how to get up when you fall down, and that was a rough one. Definitely. There's another one I wanted to talk about, but I don't know.
That wasn't even your that wasn't even your problem, or you weren't the problem at that situation. Like, who put together the lineup should have considered it. Like, you are not, you won't be playing like so hard dubstep tunes. Then maybe you should have put you a little forward, like
Oh, for sure, for
before
sure. The
the
promoter should have
yeah
done a little bit more. The
yeah
promoter
yeah
should have done. Well, the promoter told me, he's like, my girlfriend loves your music, and I just wanted to put you on a lineup. It's like, well, dude, why'd you put me up with some tear out dubstep? You know, like he was so. And this is the difference between being on a small agency and a big agency. I was on CIA at that time, and he was terribly afraid that he was going to get blacklisted for it. And I was like, dude, this stuff happens. Like, you don't need to worry about that. Like, and that's really weird when you have like, when you're an artist, and again, this going back to the music industry, where everyone's just, you know, trying to make, you know, this guy didn't know who I was. His girlfriend apparently liked my music, and it was just probably a, you know, put me up on a lineup thinking that it was going to be all cool. I make dubstep music, and maybe my older stuff sounded a little bit harder than the newer stuff at that time. But it was just, yeah, like, it's weird when you're part of something bigger like CAA or Paradigm, and a promoter does something wrong. They're so afraid that they're going to get blacklisted and never ever play a show again. I got so many friggin' stories about people getting. I had an agent. This was back in the day, that blacklisted a promoter before I even played the show. Talk about awkward of showing up to a show. That promoter I didn't even see the promoter the whole time, and it was very awkward for me because that's not who I am. So these people think, like, you know, by the actions of the agents at that time, that must be Nit Grit. He must be an asshole. He's pissed off. And it's like, dude, I'm not that kind of person. But like, the industry is very cutthroat. The industry is very aggressive. And so it was weird to show up to a show that this promoter got blacklisted by one of the largest agencies, and being blacklisted, they send it to all the other agencies as well. So basically,
Wow.
if your name pulls up, like it's ruining this person's maybe livelihood. And then I'm showing up, you know, I haven't even played the show yet. That's awkward stuff, you know, like, but yeah.
Yeah, you weren't the most welcome guest. We can say. Yeah.
But yeah, it was very awkward. I don't know. I kind of feel like I'm going on a tangent talking about weird music stuff from the past. If I ever have another tour, if I have my own next tour, it's just going to it'll be super chill. I'm just going to, you know, play all the cool venues and go to all the cities, and everything is going to be nice. I don't need to worry about promoters getting blacklisted or anything like that. It's just, that was part of crazy times in my life.
Oh, I'm really hitting a dead end here right now. I'm not sure how could we make it like, yeah, we need this layer badly, like at 100%, but maybe we need to change that color to something not so black, because what I had in mind, like if we leave this in black and I put some blur under it, it will look like that it's not a really steep edge, like not a really clean edge. It's more like a, I don't know how to say, a soft edge maybe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But the problem is, maybe I have to set back everything to normal.
Are you trying to separate it more so it really seems like it's off of the face?
Yeah, it's off, but I wanted to make it between the soft edges. It would be sharp black, but not so rich, like a little bit not clean black, like as you can see, full black. More like a little bit. Maybe if we put this to something like a skin tone-ish black, or a browner edge. I'm not quite sure. So I yeah, this is the part where you know, I'm a graphic designer, but I haven't done anything like this before. And this is the part when you get experimental and try to make it work. So I guess I'm deleting that and that as well, because they weren't even visible. Now I'm duplicating this part, converting to a smart object, and now putting on some blur and to make it like a little shadow. No, not that effect. so like kind of works, but not how I intended. Like it's putting over highlights, or maybe if I just put the highlights on top. Yeah. Oh no. Then comes out the hard edges I did. So like yeah, I'm kinda messed up right now. And where is my here you go. So as you can see, it doesn't look so bad, but clearly this part looks like it's peeling off. Or I'm not quite sure. Can you see? Yeah,
like, I can see.
Like it's maybe the highlights are too much on that side. What if we bring and just with no, not again Photoshop. Jeez. Yeah, I'm making some hybrid things. Like some of the tools I'm more confident with my mouse, and some of the tools with my pen. And if I want to use both of them, sometimes they are messing up each other, and and I have to get rid of everything and start it over. Like okay, so just so we won't hit any dead end, I will close it and reopen it.
Okay.
And we will go further, and off stream I will finalize that little shadows and highlights. What do you think? So we will now move forward and try to match up it like a hologram or things like that. We will see if it pays out, or maybe if we just need to, I don't know, desaturate it a little bit, or what else. I'm not quite sure right now.
Okay. Yeah, I trust anything that you do. Like
oh, and the eyes! I almost forgot the eyes. We were planning to put some robotic bionic eyes in here. So let me grab what I had previously. You know, I have access to a lot of stock pages, like stock photo, Shutterstock, a lot of vector graphic pages as well. And I just grabbed this because I thought this would look really nice as an iris in her eyes.
Yeah, that would be sick.
Like if I put this once again, Control C, Control V, yeah, and we will change up the colors. So I really want it to stand out. So maybe like we won't need the whole part. Like. And I'm also thinking which eye should we do. Maybe this one, because it's in the darker area of the face, so it would be more contrasty. Is that even a word?
I like that. Yeah, I like that.
So we will put this on the top, and just make sure that it's right next to the eyes.
Nice.
And here is this thing. Maybe we need to darken it up a little bit on these sides. Yeah, and now I'm currently using my mouse because for masking it, I think it's much faster, and you don't really need pressure sensitivity for that. Yeah. So like this one, we will put a hue saturation mask over it, and say like what about an orange, like, or I'm not quite sure.
I would say go closer to red. I'll play off the purple, like a more bright. I don't know. Yeah, like,
or maybe like lime. Hear me out, like.
If it's bright enough to see, yeah, like if it
makes it really needs a poppy bright color, like this one, I guess. And we will also make some small adjustments, like if I double this, it will get more, but we need to get rid. Yeah, we need to soften it, the edges as well.
I almost like the blue. The blue kind of, I think the blue looked really good. But I guess that would have to change the background a little bit. But I don't know.
We can anyway. Like more like a cyan version of blue, or deep blue, or navy
like
blue.
that, right? Like right there-ish. I don't know. I think of the track. It kind of reminds me of a blue. I don't know if that means anything. Maybe it's because it's called YOUU blue. I don't know. It kind of rhymes. YOUU blue.
But I think it doesn't pop out really
It doesn't
well,
pop.
like the green one.
Yeah.
But it can be subtle, like it doesn't have to draw too much attention.
I do like that. I mean, the blue does look good because once you pull back, if you pull back and if you can you make it brighter, like more pronounced?
Of course, and I also got an idea. What if we desaturate the iris a little bit, so it will be a little bit desaturated, so the blue would stand out more.
Yeah.
And also I will say put in an outer glow with smaller size, and like this, and we will put here another hue saturation and get it right down, fill it with black, the mask, and now with white we will paint the eyes a little desaturated like this. Or maybe it doesn't even need that glow, it just needs some thickness. Oh, what about white?
Yeah, that'd be sick.
A more clean, futuristic look, like Musk Teslas, things like that. You know, that really white. I know. Okay, I just tried to say 3 different sentences at once. So, back once again. Nowadays, people are visioning future like more positively than before. Like 10 years ago, when, let me see, I Am Robot with Will Smith or things like that came out, that was, I think, the start when people started to looking at robots and things like that, like white, pure, really sleek designs, and not like a really bad Omen or really, you know, oily things and parts like that. So white looks really good.
What would it look like? I mean, are we gonna work with like the skin? Are we gonna keep it like human skin? Or are we gonna actually like change the opacity that's maybe more white-ish?
I was thinking, like, just it's a cool commented like you don't have to desaturate the green eye, but I think we should, because some of like I know there isn't a clean cut, like I say like a lot, I don't know why, but I don't think there is a clean cut saying that this part is robot, this part is human. But if we desaturate this eye, we somehow hint that there is still some human. And I also want to oversaturate the green eye a little bit. So that's why I changed the. Let me use this layer again. That's why I use this side as much darker colors, because that's the kind of machine part, and this side is more vibrant with the red, and with the eyes will be also, and this side will be more human-like, so it gets really separated. But as you can see on her face, it's like you can't really decide. I know it's a lot of different explanation for why I'm making this like this, but sometimes I feel like I just have to do it this way because it will be much easier to understand instead of making something different.
Yeah.
And yeah, also we need another hue saturation layer for here, and this will be also black. Should like this. Change up the colors and let's say saturation lightness to the max, just so I could see where the iris really stands. And now mask it back a little bit. And now if we pull down the lightness and also the saturation, like this is the original. Let me show you. This is the original eye color, and I was thinking like if we put a little saturation, not too much, and shift the hue so it will be a little bit more greenish.
Yeah.
It would really stand out. So like that was the original, and here is the modified one. So
yeah, that's sick. I like that.
And contrast is a key now for us. So we have the model. Let me put it in a smart object. Oh, we didn't make the face part of that too. Oh my god, this will get messy, but I can missing. Yeah, here's the flat shadows, flat highlights. Every layer is here which we are using. Let me see if this group is contains everything. Convert to smart object. In this way, it's like making a subsequence. I put it in a smart object, so if I want to, I can come here and I see all the layers. And if I edit them and save them, it will update in the original. But here we only see it as one layer, so we can start messing with it like what if we duplicate it, and what if we say no, not with this. I make a rectangular selection, I mask it out, and I can shift parts of it to make some glitchy effect. And also we can easily we can more easily manage the coloring of it. So like for the first one, I'm going to say like we will also need a hue saturation which controls overall the look, and we will desaturate it a little bit, not much, just a little bit. And we will also put on another one which we set to colorize, set it to only affect our model, shift the hue to something bluish, like I'm not quite sure, something really cold.
Yeah.
And say that something like this.
Yeah.
Now comes that part when we change the opacity of this to really match something which will be more holographic for us, this layer is almost like a ghost.
Yeah.
And this is the full living human. So I was thinking maybe, and this is only this is only me thinking out loud. What if we change? Oh my god, it gets really horroristic. But I was like more of a glowish.
I like that, like dark. Like, are you making like?
Oh my god, this is it. This is it. Look at the difference.
Yeah, with the shadow, I like that.
And we also would just to get the eyes back a little bit, and maybe on the other eyes too, like don't change it that much up. My chair just broke. I almost fell to the ground. Am I that really boring so you fell asleep on your chair and almost break yourself? Oh my god, Katsu-senpai. But press F to pay respect for that chair. So I will finish up these lines. I think maybe the highlights are too much, like in here. It's not really
kind of
clean.
imagining, can you make an illuminate like a white light from there, from like where all of the incisions are, can make a light illuminate from it. Then it would look like it's separate from the face, other than it just looking like an incision.
Ah, I see. So if we make something in there that illuminates a little bit.
Something inside her that's illuminating.
Okay, let me see. It's maybe. I think it's a good idea.
You could try it. I don't know. This is just my input of see what it looks like if it was illuminated.
Yeah, but where? Here it is. So we have a color overlay. I need to group it. Okay, so this is where things get messy. If you look at my layers, like, yeah, nothing is really named properly. Like, yeah, there are some flat shadows or highlights or here, but highlights, copy, highlights, flat highlights, and things like that, and it could get always so messy. But the thing is, my mind works some serious ways. Like, if I will open this document 3 years from now, I will tell you which layer is which.
Mm-hmm.
And my mind is full of that not so useful information. So I was working 5 years ago on a PSD. I opened it up. It has 200 layers, and I exactly at that point when I opened up, I know if I'm looking that particular part, that is that layer, and I don't know. I can't help myself. Like, why my brain works like this? So here is our line. Say if we put an inner glow, set it to normal. Oh no, it's not used. Yeah, right. Set it to center. Make it like, I don't know which color. Maybe something. You know, her red hair is really overthrowing everything. So I'm trying to make colors that really compensates the weight of the red hair.
I do like that blue. Like the blues that you've been using, I really have been liking.
I need more, like... Okay, let's try this out. So we have this group. I will duplicate it. Set up the blue glow. Let's say this one, and set it to normal. And where was the size? Here. Yeah, and centered. I need to really find that sweet spot where it's also in the chins, or maybe not. There shouldn't be on the chins. What if we just make it on the really thick part? Like
well,
this.
if she has red hair, why don't we make it red? It'll play off the red hair, like a deep dark red.
Let me see. Oh, not bad.
No, it looks sick. I like that.
Or maybe it's like an orangish.
No, that's a little too much. That's a lot of orange.
Should we go with red? What if we as
I
the
kind of
chat?
like the blue. I like the subtleness of the blue, actually, what you started with. When I thought red, I was thinking it was going to be a little bit more. I think the blue, I don't know, when I think of the track, I kind of have that blue, that color. It's kind of what I'm thinking about.
Okay. This is one glow. And here comes the messy part. I will duplicate this again. Set the first one. Okay, so maybe hide the layer behind it. Like, which group 4 was that? This one. And yeah, this is it. Set it to multiply or lighten. I'm not quite sure. Screen, yes, that's it. Set back the original one. And where is the original one? Okay. I got this. Let's duplicate this once again.
I think you're gonna have to make the eye blue now because the white looks kind of strange with the blue in the back. I think that's gonna have to be the same blue in the left eye. Well, her right eye.
We will see. Let me figure out this part first.
Okay, I'm just looking. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is the black one. This needs to be set down a little bit. So most of these cutouts will be a little bit more brownish. And also I just duplicated this as... Yeah, I need to set a... No. Oh my god, yeah, I know what you mean. It has a color overlay effect, which we don't need. So now if we put this in screen and we get rid of the background, as you can see, it's only... And it looks better without the black. A little bit. But yeah, I have some wonky lines here.
Yeah, I think the black pronounces it. Does the black need to be so...
yeah. So strong.
Yeah, like it's
So
like
significant.
Turn down the opacity of it a little bit until you find the sweet spot.
And now we have another one without the color overlay and with the inner glow, but in this inner glow I will set it to a much smaller size so other parts will also get this. And köszönöm a követést, Szürke Wolf, hello, szia! Szürke Wolf is definitely a Hungarian name because Szürke means grey in English. And oh my god, thanks for the raid, Beze Music. Let me switch back to Hungarian. Sorry, just one second. Szóval sziasztok, Beze Music nézők. Köszönöm szépen a raidet. Most angolul folyik nálunk a stream, ugyanis a vendégem Nit Grit Kaliforniából, akinek egy új albumborítót készítünk el, ami egy kicsit darkos hangulatot kezd szép lassan felvenni. Nagyon szépen köszöntök mindenkit, nyugodtan kérdezzetek majd magyarul is, én megpróbálok majd fordítani, kérdezzetek tőlem. Én megpróbálom majd fordítani a kérdéseket és a válaszokat is, de egyelőre angolul folyik főleg a diskurzus, úgyhogy ezért előre is bocsánat, de nagyon szépen köszönöm a raidet, és mi újság, Bézi, milyen volt a stream? And now back to English. So, yeah. We are now working on an Android prototype thing, maybe, yeah. So, and yeah, I'm really getting full of layers. So this one will be small light leak, and this one will be larger light leak. Just to keep some sanity.
Yeah.
OM Hainal, I'm so glad you are here. Like, really bad puns incoming. So, yeah, this is the smaller ones. I need to set up a mask and mask this part out, and this one also. And we will just go through and make it a little more supple, I guess. Or like, what if I change the opacity of the brush and just not like this? What am I doing? Which one works better on masks, flow or opacity? Anyone know that? Oh, it's always a hassle to figure out. Yeah, we are kind of experimenting right now to make it really pop out.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, what kind of music? What if we show them the music as well? So
Cool.
maybe you won't be hearing us right now because I have to turn up the volume, but here is the track, and we will go silent for this one so you can listen it really well. I'm just speaking just enough time so nobody could rip it off.
No, I don't care. It's already out on the mixtape.
Yeah, okay. Then listen.
Just play the whole thing. Yeah, I don't care if I'm ripping it off.
Can we go louder? Not this time.
This song's not even out, so it's not even copywritten, so it's not an issue.
By the way, about copyright, and sorry for speaking through the music, but Busy, if you're still right here, I sent you a DM a couple of days ago because I was trying to upload some of our previous streams. Busy was the guy I was making an overlay, and he was my previous guest here in the channel. And he is a really great and talented musician, mostly in the more how do you say that, instrumental genre, like not electronic music but traditional
instrumental.
music.
Like he plays guitar and stuff, like real instruments.
Yeah, he plays every kind of instruments, and we were listening his tracks, and YouTube copyright striked that
Really?
that video, and I was just messaging him the day before or the day before yesterday, like
I wonder how, like, I mean, again, my music is on distribution and it is kind of their responsibility, but I don't really know how, I mean, that being an issue, me being on the channel, I don't know, like, if you get striked for anything, let me know and I'll try to figure out. I mean, I'm not really sure. I can contact Twitch, right? I can go, I mean, I'm assuming I can contact them and say, hey, this was totally fine, you know, to use this, to use these songs. These are my songs. So,
oh, so sorry for this thing. Yeah, I will summarize all that I know about it. I've had a nightmare week, but hopefully I can write about it. feel free. So it's no rush. It's not a biggie. I just really I'm working currently on my YouTube channel to. So in the case of Twitch, just because I have Twitch Prime, people can watch the previous streams for 60 days. And after 60 days, they get deleted. And I already backed up all my how do you say that? All my not exciting existing that's the word. All my existing streams, and I tried to upload them to YouTube, but the thing is, we had some streams because I'm such a musical person, not in a way that I understand or can write or produce or do anything with music, but I listen to music like 14 hours a day. And we had some song request features, and let me put back the music. And we had previously some song request features, and let me show you this. Oh my god. Like, after I uploaded that video to YouTube, it's like, wow. I got a whole track list for the 4-hour session claimed.
Oh, wow.
Like, I'm not sure if anyone sees something like this. Here it is. I will grab this. It's loading all the pending violations. Like, look at this.
Oh, wow. Jeez.
Yeah. Every red dot represents that.
It's getting crazy with the algorithms now. Like, even with all my music, because my royalties and stuff like that. If anyone playing my music on YouTube, they usually, I think they get flagged to I'm able to monetize on it now. It's called Song Trust, and they monitor YouTube, and they use the ID codes of the songs to find out who's using your music and who's not. So like, I don't know, like if this was an issue for like this stream, I'm pretty sure I can go and just talk to Twitch directly and say I was part of this stream.
Thank you very much. But in my opinion, it won't be as the issue, because we listened some of our tracks, but sorry. We listened a lot of your tracks back in the days when we were listening every music we could find on the internet. And I think it won't be a problem. Oh, okay, it would get funky. Because it wasn't a problem with any of your tracks prior that. Like, yeah, I know. I was speaking one of my friends who owns a label, a drum and bass label here in Hungary, and he said, and he put. He said me a lot of clever things that I didn't even know about this industry. Like not the labels are the problem, the distributors are in this case, because they can blacklist and whitelist your channel if you are eligible to play those musics and things like that. Yeah, and one more comment from Beze. The main problem is that even if I'm the author, my music has been released by a label. Because of this, the music is automatically copyrighted, but as far as I know, I have some ways as the author to write some kind of a permission or such, but I have to ask my label how to do it precisely. Thank you very much, Beze. I really appreciate it. Take your time. It's not a biggie. We are not in a rush. Like, if I say I will start the YouTube channel a month later or anything, it's not a biggie. I have other videos I can upload, so just let enough time. I know you can really be busy, so let enough time to rest, get some rest, try to work out your things. Love you, man. That's all. and take care of yourself and take care of your mental health. Also, don't over-exhaust yourself. Like, is that even a word? Over-exhausting or
overexhaust? Like, yeah. Just yes.
Yes, I can be busy. Oh my god. Like, his name is literally Beze, you know, BZ. Oh. That was yeah, okay. I no question that. No, okay. My brain just froze. So anyway, I think I found a way that we could make this more subtle, and in this case, it just only need to find that particular layer, which is the larger light leak, and under that is this one, yes. And we just have to set it to like 40%. And because we put over it a really big contrast, it will look like more subtle. I will clean this bad lines, but off stream. But I think we are getting in a way that this looks better, I guess. Like, yes, there are some hard shadows. I will play with that off stream. Now we should see if we can make it a little bit more glitchy. Like, yeah. Oh, thanks, Acro Gaming. I haven't even drank one sip of tea tonight.
Yeah, I'm drinking tons of water over here. I don't know how you do this. I feel like I'm foaming at the mouth talking.
Me too, but you know, I have to think about so many different things right now when I'm streaming that I forgot to drink, and I can really get that dehydrated. Like before I started streaming, and it was like I was looking at people who were like, okay, someone have to tell them to drink, and I was laughing like, oh my god, you can't even tell yourself to drink and things like that. And now I'm in that place, like, oh my god, I can't even think about the you know, like I should drink at least 3 liters or 1 gallon, I guess, of water every day.
Yeah,
but during streaming, like, yeah,
I can see how that can be. You're doing way more than I am. I'm watching what you're doing. So, yeah, I don't know, but like just talking in general, like, makes you like, I don't know. I haven't talked this much, I feel like, in a long time, so I feel like I'm like a foaming, and yeah, it's interesting. I can see how you get dehydrated very quickly, especially with you focusing on something like with all these details. I like what you did there, where it kind of did that 3D look, where you overlaid slightly, and it kind of pulled out all of, like, the red and like 3D color from it. I like that. That was cool.
I will show you. It's a really simple step, like, and everyone can do this. Just here is our photo. Duplicate the layer, like right click, duplicate layer, or just press Ctrl G, or for the Hungarians Ctrl E. If you duplicate it, double click on that layer, it will come up with the layers type panel, and get rid of this at the advanced blending, the red channels. And in this way, you have everything but the red channels in this picture. And as you start moving it, as you can see, it's more like a cyanide, and everywhere it overlaps with the original, there it will get its black. And that's it. You have made a glitchy background, or
really cool.
or a phony 3D. Like, I'm just playing now how much we should.
I like what you're doing. You're kind of sectioning out each one. You can pull one to the left, one to the right.
Yeah, and what I'm doing, I shifted the whole glitchy overlay thing to the left, and now I'm making different selections, and like saying, I made 2 big selections. Like, I want the eyes to be perfect, so I'm pressing the mask tool, and now the eyes are in position and the other parts are glitching. So if we want to make like something here in the at the mouth, I just paint on the mask and it will go back to normal. And now in this way we can really make like a
see what you're
small,
saying. Yeah, you're like kind of blocking.
yeah,
your face
small
in
small
different-
parts blocking, and it will get more and more glitchier.
I like that. That's
So
really cool.
I really want the eyes to pop out, like it's
Yeah.
the centerpiece of this composition. Just make some smaller cutouts. Don't want to overdo it, don't want to underdo it.
Yeah.
We can make just some small different parts. Like maybe we can also try out some vertical ones, like this one. So it won't get messy. Like, what are those lines?
Yeah.
Here you can see the original. Also, what else? Here. And we can also duplicate this layer, delete the previous mask, say that we want to change up the colors, like where is it? Yeah, here. Say that we want to get rid of the green as well. It will be pure blue, and we put this layer the other side. I know it will get a lot glitchier. I'm not sure if that's the correct word, but we will mask out all of this picture, and we will only use it like if you. I'm not sure if you're familiar with how mask works in Photoshop. It's like if you paint on the mask with black. Let me show you. Here is the mask. Here is the original picture. It's in the same size. If you paint with black on the mask, it will hide that part.
Okay.
If I paint the whole in black, it will hide the whole picture. If I disable this mask, you will see that the new glitchy layer. So now I will make it inverse, like painting with white, and I will say like I want a really glitchy thing. Now here at the shoulders, I will paint it on white, and there it goes, a really harsh blue outline.
Yeah.
But I just made not that good selection. Like if we really get it with the red, so we make it like an extension for it.
Yeah.
It will look much better. But the eyes will always be the one part that are not glitching.
Yeah.
And thanks for the host, Acro Gaming. Thank you very much. So, yeah, we spent so many times finishing up these small details, and now we are really just getting rid of them. But you know,
it's cool though. I mean, it's the process. It's like when you're creating something. I do a lot of things like that with music, where it's like I'm throwing things at the board sometimes, different effects, different tricks that I know how to do, and sometimes it's the combination of everything, kind of just working, and the synergy between everything happening that makes it cool.
That's too much. I don't want too much really hard things. I just really want the shoulders to pop out, to really get her before, like really separate her from the background.
Yeah.
So, oh my god, these yellow highlights, I really like that. And maybe something here like this would be better, would be good. And also something on the left side, like here at the ears, but I really don't want to put on the skin tones, because the skins will get so much yellow, and it will draw attention, unwanted attention from the details. So yeah, like it's kind of looks okay, I guess. What do you think? Let me know.
I like it a lot. I like it. It looks really sick. Like, I like how it's being kind of glitched out.
It's almost like, you know, that statues which are only like I'm not sure how do you say that small statues with the heads and the shoulders only, and there is a V cut out, and they are this big. kinda.
I get what you're saying. Yeah, like just at the head of a statue.
Yeah, just like a head of a statue. We could really make it like, if we make clean cut here, it would be definitely be like a statue, a hologramic statue, or I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe if we put more like here. Zigok! Hello, Sia. Thank you for the 4th month of sub. Oh my god, you are my oldest subscriber ever. Like, the longest subscriber, not the oldest one. Thank you very much, I really appreciate it. So, yeah, here this part of hair is too clean. Maybe we should put something there.
Yeah.
But overall, I think we are good. Like, maybe if we separate a little bit more these parts, or maybe not so much. Like, make the first glitch.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, it's more cleaner, it's more subtle. So, yeah, I think we are almost ready. Oh my god. That's awful, and I saved it. Back. Or maybe, what if? No. The eyes must be pure.
Yeah, keep the eyes. Well, that's kind of interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I kind of like that. That's kind of cool.
Okay, and once again I will put it a little bit closer, like, yeah, like it's too much of a glitch. Like, glitching is just part of the picture. So if we start to play with this, yeah, we will get a little bit funky results. So do it in the other way. Like,
yeah, that's really cool actually. I kind of like that, where you're kind of like, it's already glitched out all of the inverse of that.
Really?
Look pretty...
like this?
No, back to, I don't know, you just made it happen. That's sick. Like, being able to see all the lines and cuts. Like, I don't know, I thought that looked cool. It's just a completely different look, but I like that. That was cool.
Oh, we can make something. Yeah, I have something in mind. What if we select this?
It's because she has a very pale face, like something sitting like blocked like that looks pretty cool. I don't know. That's my opinion. Having different cuts glitches it out more essentially. Yeah, that's cool.
Wait for it. I'm not done yet.
There's you take it off like from around her shoulders and stuff, so you don't see it blocked around the shoulders, just like patched. That's pretty neat.
Like, let's put it 5%. Really subtle, because we will make another one with this selection, and this will be more like no, we have to invert the selection. Yeah, just fill out that part, and we will make it. We will make it like more like this.
That's sick.
And also, look at this. If we put this here, and now if I start moving, it's getting ghosty.
It's gonna pull away from the original.
Yeah. What if I put this at 100%? 100% and say like, yeah. It's kinda cool, I guess.
I see it. Like, I think if you use that effect like aggressively, I can see it becoming something. But if it's using it subtly, like, I don't know, it looks cool. I mean, but if it's used like very aggressively, I can see Yeah, I don't know. You're the artist here. I don't know anything about Photoshop. I like that, what you just did, where it's actually really separated.
Like this.
Where you,
I will wait for a bit so the stream catches up, because when you say I like that, I'm always two steps before. Yeah.
When you inverted, it looks like you inverted the photo, the exposure of the photo. That looked pretty neat. With the blocks, you inverted the photo to it just looked very. So go back like 5 steps, and I'll show you what like the effect about 5 steps ago.
Like this, inverted like this.
To the blocks, you inverted. Yeah, you inverted. Yes, like that. That looked pretty fucking cool. I like that.
Yeah, but the eyes. No. Sorry,
I'm
it won't be that. I will keep, and that's where comes the greatest girlfriend of all times. And Nancy just said, I know this sounds crazy, but what if some oil flew out from from her mouth? Just thinking.
That would be cool. I mean, how would that look?
Yeah, like it would look like the next season of Black Mirror.
I think you would have to block out the teeth, or maybe do something similar with the illumination that you did on the sides here on the cheeks. Make a blue glow coming from the mouth of something like sorts.
No glow. Glow is a no-go now.
No-go glow.
we will black out the teeth like this, and we will make like, yeah, that's why I'm getting lazy.
Yeah.
I will just pause on my stock photo sites and get fluid 3D and download some asset which we can work with, because making it really good looking in 3D in just a matter of minutes, not hours, it's a really big deal. Like okay, I will just make a quick sample to see if it really works out. Like I need a harder brush. Let's say comes out like this, down the cheeks, and like this. Not quite. Once again, I didn't get the curvature right. Like coming like this, and then back. And maybe we don't even need something like yeah, let me grab the pen. Oh, just save it before it glitches out. So like this layer, we need to get it back a little bit. Yeah, I will draw it. That's the easiest way. Yes, like use oil and also try to make some highlights on it. But first, let me see if it really pays out well. But I think it will. Like, and that's what I really like about streaming. Okay, this idea came from my girlfriend, I know, but sometimes so creative people can come up to the chat like whenever I'm stuck. They are giving me ideas, they are giving me, like, I don't even have to think, you know? They are just doing my work. and I'm just a tool, but they are awesome. Like, most of my viewers is really awesome. There are some pros, yeah, I know, but most of my viewers are really good people.
That's good. That's awesome. Like, no, I can see how that could be really helpful. Of like an idea, if you're, I mean, you're so focused on the details of everything, and everyone's looking at the larger picture of saying, "Hey, how about you try this idea?"
I wasn't in pressure sensitive mode, so now comes the yeah, and we have another layer here, and we will like Oh my god. It's okay. It's this layer, so we have to put it here with a black overflow like this. Maybe a little more subtle neck to it, like this is that part. I said easy. And what if we put on some highlights? But the highlights would be just like some softer highlights, rendered with noise maybe, so it gets clunky or chunky. Like when the oil is so oiled that there is small particles that really stands out. It has a grain or I'm not
Yeah.
sure how to say that.
Coagulated or something like that.
Yeah. Like, oh my god, if I would know that word, maybe I would have a higher level languaging some in English. Like,
I don't even know if that's
most useless word for a graphic designer. The old chunky oil particles.
Chunking up.
Yeah, I will need the mouse for that. Because for softer brushes, doing it with a mouse, it's so much easier. No. Yeah, okay. It's my bad. Back to the pen. I wasn't thinking straight. So I'm just making something like this, and here something like this. It's just small highlights, reflections.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe something like this, and one on the block, right? This always getting a kind of a comic vibe, comic look.
Yeah.
Let me put it this off and set it to a different group, and that one putting it to no. Where is that one? Okay, pass through and bring down the opacity a little bit. Like this, maybe. And also we had this layer, which is just that small drop at the end. I guess not. Oh, this one. We need to set this also without red. So, like this. And now it's also glitching. Like, you know, every black is red when you set it. But when you untick this this red channel, every black becomes red and every white becomes cyanide, like this. And yeah, we will also just get that out of that, like this. I'm not sure. It's more like something hentai. Like, I don't know, I'm not sure. Like a tentacle or
I was gonna say it looks like something's like crawling out of her mouth. It's like I like the idea, but it kind of looks like an arm of like
yeah.
octopus.
The idea is like 5 stars, and the actual job done is like 2 stars. Best.
I do like the blacked out mouth though. The blacked out mouth did look cool.
Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah, that looks cool. Yeah. Or do you know that meme? Yeah, that was pretty cool. I pointed 5x7. You know that meme? Like someone was saying, Dark Knight Returns is the best movie ever. I rate it 5/7. And everyone was like, oh my god. How came you up with a 7 level grade? And why is 5 the best on that grade? and it really took out, and it's a really big meme right now. Yeah, it should be more like flowing. So I'm thinking, what if? Yeah, it's getting kind of late here. It's almost 11 p.m.
Yeah, it's late there.
So
I was-
what if we say, let's call it a day, and I
Yeah.
will make some small adjustments off stream and finalize it, and you can maybe get the final piece and tomorrow the same time like now, so in 24 hours.
Cool.
Is it okay for you?
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. I appreciate it. This looks awesome. This looks great, man. Thank you
Yeah,
so much.
it. You know, the funny thing is, it looks so much better what I had in mind.
That looks awesome.
Like
It looks
we were
awesome.
playing with it, we were just fine tuning it. Oh, I'm never getting rid of this. Like
Yeah,
everyone
it's-
will think I have only three fingers. So
Well, dude,
like,
thank
yeah.
Thank you for
yeah.
having me. Like, I really appreciate you having me on and being able to talk to the fans, and just, you know, I really enjoyed
Thank
it.
you for coming by. Like, I know we had a really rough start, and we haven't even spoken about the things we had in mind for this stream yet. Like,
We can have another stream. We can have another stream that we're on, and we can talk about things.
say no more. Maybe we will make it a monthly schedule or something like that.
That'd be sweet. I would like that.
Yeah, it was just so good. Like, so sorry really, chat, that I couldn't really keep up with you all guys, but I really appreciate all the feedback and all the love we got from you during the stream.
Yeah, thank you,
And
everybody.
I hope, if I can say, next time will be better. we will be much more bugless, or is it a word, like bug free, or I don't know. Like,
or like being being preoccupied. I don't know what it is.
like I was meant that will be less bugs, glitch, and things like that during the stream. Like but you know, there was the power outage, there was the audio bugs, like
But that shit happens. It's just how it is.
Yeah.
I think everyone
Yeah.
was happy. I'm happy. You're happy. Everyone, like, you know, it was good. It was a good stream. For my first stream, I think it was a good stream. So,
Acro Gaming said, so much better than in my mind, the dream of every graphic designer. That's right, and that's the best feeling ever. When you came up with something like, okay, how will I do? Like, in the whole process, it were like stages like I was really sweating here, or on how to move on, how to move forward, how to make it look good, because right now I can't even look at it. And when you get to the final pieces, and I know there will be some adjustment made, there will some adjustment be made.
Yeah.
I'm not yeah. So but the overall visual, I think it looks really good. We
I do too.
didn't
It's great.
yeah we tried to keep it as simple as we could. The glitch part, I think it's not so glitchy. Like, let me show you. If you type in glitch portrait, I'm sure we will get much glitchier portraits. Like,
I'm sure. It's
yeah,
probably
so
crazy.
yeah, it kind of reflects the glitchy sound. And let me put that song back once again. Like, it's not only glitchy sounds, it's just that real high-pitched glitch, and then at the drop the glitch part comes. But yeah, it's like we tried to balance it out right, and I think we did a great job.
Yeah. No, it looks awesome, man. Thank you.
And I should be thankful to you too, to coming by and being part of this journey right now. Yeah, I'm more eased right now.
Dude, anytime. I appreciate everything you've helped me with, and you know, you're a good friend. So I'm glad to be
Thanks.
here.
Thank you. So, have a nice evening. Maybe I will just say some other words with the chat, and if you have anything to add at last, or if you ever feel like we should do another stream, I'm totally in. I'm totally in. Like,
I'm totally down. I'm totally down to do another one for sure. I'm gonna make some more music. I'm just gonna send it to you.
so here is your homework. Make your music. Make more
Thank you.
music.
And then I'll pass it on to you, and then we'll do this again.
or maybe we could make a stream where you are making music live. What do you think?
We could try to do that. I'm not as clean as you. I'm sloppy. I'm all over the board. I throw ideas out, but maybe we'll see. I don't know. Once I get comfortable doing the streaming thing, I think I'm down for that. And then you can watch me. Then you can watch me make music.
One more questions. Will it be an art for an EP, LP, or just a single? This one for a single, right?
This is just a single.
Yeah.
This is just a song. It's the first track on the mixtape I dropped today. The mixtape kind of came to be because I just had some extra, unofficial remixes I wanted to put together, and I just put it with like the latest. Two other songs I released was Kasha Calls and The Devil's Index. I figured just mixing it all together and putting it into a little mix would be a little bit more interesting than just a single, because when I put it to the stores, it's going to take a minimum of 2 weeks to even get on Spotify. And this is the fastest way where someone can just go to my Bandcamp or SoundCloud, listen to it, and download it for free. So, go to my Bandcamp and go download it for free.
Yeah, and also we have some comments. Like, here you can find all the links for Nit Grit's channels. And also, if you like his music, don't forget to support the artist, because if I'm correct, you are kind of giving all of your music out for free right now.
Yeah, my music's for free. The only reason it's in stores is so it can be on Spotify and just be out there. And so if you can get any of my music for free on my Bandcamp, just go there. It's name your own price, but just type in 0 and just download it. I want you to have it.
Yeah. So don't forget, if you really like his music, leave some bucks behind. And here is the link for that. So thank you everyone once again for stopping by, to taking part of this rough journey. And I think see you guys next time. So I will let you go now. Have a nice day. And
thank you so much.
Have you all have a nice great as well. We will look for someone to raid. Let me see who's online now. Okay. I have something in mind. So we will raid Will Sliney. He is an Irish comic book artist. So that will be also in English, and that will be kind of like what I'm doing in this channel. But he is much more professional because he has comics at Marvel. He makes Spider-Man comics. He made the Star Wars comics at Marvel as well. So like, I will just have to spell the name right. So, thank you once again. Yeah, that was right. See you guys next time. I will be coming back with a comic, with a little comic drawing tomorrow. And Tuesday I will be off stream. I can't stream on Tuesday, but I will tell the whole schedule for the next week tomorrow. So see you guys tomorrow at 11 p.m. Central East European time. And have a nice day, have a nice evening wherever you live. And thank you once again for everything. You are the best. All of you.
Thank you,
all of you. Thank you. So have a nice day. Cheers.
Later.